Hey, Patrick.
Hey, good morning, Andrew. Yes, we're going to do a reverse bell curve in a way as far as temperatures are concerned over the next couple of days. We start off with a very nice ramp up in temperatures today. I think everybody should get out and enjoy today, in the very least. It's going to be a gorgeous day from the standpoint. You got a lot of sunshine, you got light breezes, and still being able to work our temperatures up through the 50s and 60s. So just a little bit, it will make your day just a little bit better just doing that. That's my, I'm not your dad advice for today, but, I'm just trying to help you out because there will be some big changes ahead for us. Of course, again, getting closer to 60 degrees here today, 34 tonight, partly clear and seasonably cool. We'll actually see a wind shift today as we have a southwesterly wind early on, turning northwesterly later on today. That's as our cold front moves into the area. That cold front will knock the numbers back here. We are starting off in the 40s this morning, so we'll be about 10 degrees cooler, but this isn't terribly bad for this time of the year. We'll call it seasonably cool to start off tomorrow morning. But the big story will be the Arctic blast on the way as we head towards the upcoming weekend, that temperature roller coaster. We're not going to have the initial blast of cooler air tomorrow. It will start rolling in here during the course of the overnight period of your Saturday into Sunday. So not cold, but yet cooler, with a mixture of clouds and sunshine going into your day tomorrow. A northeasterly wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's that cold surge that we were talking about moving into the area. We're talking temperatures running in some spots 20 to 30 degrees below average up towards the north of us. Even here in the Mid-South, our actual air temperature or actual high temperature for the day will probably be closer to freezing. The record low high temperature is 23 degrees. We're not going to be there, but we'll definitely feel like it because guess what? Feels like temperatures on Sunday with a cold north wind, 15, 20 miles per hour, will make it feel like it's in the single digits for many hours during the course of your Sunday. Now the winds will die down, but that will allow for the temperatures to drop off like a rock in a pond as we head into your Monday morning. 18 degrees, hazardous cold, below 20 degrees for several hours, high impacts for people and pets, impacts to even your pipes as well. 14 degrees in Somerville, Tennessee, and same idea. And I would expect that the coldest air that will be in play, that will likely stick around a little bit longer there in Somerville comparatively to even Memphis. So a reminder to everybody, check your folks, just check in with people, see if they need a warm place to be, if they have enough heating, enough blankets, whatever. Just check in on your people. Make sure that they're good to go as we get into this blast of Arctic air. Make sure your pets have a warm place to be, a warm inside or, warm shelter outside, whatever you have planned out. Cover up your outdoor pipes and spigots. Get that little plastic styrofoam thing, put it on the spigots here this upcoming weekend because this would be pipe bursting weather. Clear your furnaces, your space heaters, make sure everything's cleaned out, and on top of that, just make sure your space heaters have space. Drip your indoor faucets and open up cabinets if you have poor insulation inside the house to get some air circulation going through there, just to make sure so you don't end up with frozen pipes here as we go into this stretch of cold air. But good news is that it's not a long stretch of cold weather that's going to be in play. A high near 60 degrees for today here across the Mid-South. We're going to go with a mostly sunny look, and it looks like it will be a great day for the Porter Lee Toy Truck Drive. That continues also for tomorrow. It'll be a little cooler, but if you drive through here at 1960 Union, it's going to be a fantastic day. Drop off, see some of your favorites outside, collecting those toys for some of the less fortunate children in our community, making sure that they have a happy and joyous holiday season coming up here with brand new toys. And of course, we will take anything. Monetary donations also be welcome as well. You can go to actionnews5.com to find out all the details right there. But if you want to stop on by here, we'll be out there between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. today, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. tomorrow here at Action News 5 in 1960 Union, Midtown Memphis. Tomorrow, not looking half bad after our front moves to the area. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl All-Star High School football game also be shown on Action News 5 tomorrow, starting at 2 o'clock with the pregame. The kickoff at 2:30, 50 degrees at kickoff with a mixture of clouds and sunshine, easing down to the mid-40s. So even then, we're not talking about the coldest of the air getting into the area just yet. That will be a different story heading into your Sunday. Yes, the first night of Hanukkah coming up on Sunday. But Sunday morning, as you're heading off to church services, you're going to either want to bundle up or think about doing the virtual church scenario early on Sunday morning. Wind chills single digits for much of West Tennessee, northeastern Arkansas, teens across North Mississippi. And guess what? It's probably not going to get too much better throughout the course of the day. 3 p.m. We're looking at wind chills in the teens and low 20s, and then dropping off yet again, wind chills in the single digits as we head through the overnight period of Sunday into early Monday. So as you're getting the kids ready to head back off to work, as you're getting ready to head off to work and school early on Monday morning, 18 degrees actual air temperature here across the Mid-South. Mostly sunny, though, on Monday. Still going to highlight Monday morning because you're going to need that extra couple of minutes to get the car warmed up, get yourself moving and grooving. 38, the high temperature up to 48 here. Tag on an additional 10 to get you to 58 coming up on Wednesday. Chance for a couple passing showers. A lot of clouds in play as we get a system to start building out of the Gulf. We'll go 62 come Thursday. A little dip in temperatures behind that system, and then we're rebounding back up through the 60s. And Andrew, give you a first alert to some changes coming up here as we go into the extended forecast. I'm going to take you out towards Christmas. Look at all of this red here. Okay, this is the 8 to 14 day outlook, temperature outlook, December 20th through December 26th, above average. Average high for Christmas Day is about 53, 52 degrees. So we'll at least be above that, and there's high confidence in that above average opportunity going into Christmas week.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So essentially, for the next couple of weeks, Patrick, all we got to worry about in terms of really cold temperatures is Saturday, right? Or Sunday.
Yeah, it's Saturday night, Sunday, and Monday. So about a 48-hour period as when you look at the grand scheme of things. Once we get past that, we're back into the milder area. That's why I said it's a reverse bell curve here. You go from the highest highs to the low lows pretty quickly, and then we're right back up to the top as we head towards the end of next week.
All right, meteorologist Patrick Ellis really doing a deep dive for us on the digital desk and the weather. Patrick, thank you.
No problem.
Let's talk now about our forecast. As you can see here, you can see our live look outside of our studios, 1960 Union Avenue. Just beautiful, as you can see. Let's go now downtown. Another beautiful shot. And as Patrick said, it is going to be a beautiful day today with highs up near 60 degrees and just really mild temperatures, especially for December 12th. That is before things get a lot colder by Saturday night, Sunday, and early Monday morning. So we'll be talking with Patrick throughout the morning here on Action News 5's Digital Desk. And one of our top stories I want to get to right now, that is about the Porterleaf Toy Truck Drive. It is right now outside of our studios here at 1960 Union Avenue. It's going to be here all day today and tomorrow as well. Action News 5's Jared Thomas has more on how you can donate to help children in need have a great holiday season. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Had a little bit of a technical issue there, but I want to tell you more about our toy truck drive that we have partnered with here at Action News 5 with Porter Leith. And it is going to be outside of our studios here at 1960 Union Avenue in Midtown Memphis for the next couple of days, today and tomorrow, where you can contribute and bring a new unwrapped toy for children 5 years old and under to make sure that no child in Memphis and the Mid-South has no gifts under the tree this season. Jared Thomas has more on the toy truck drive that Porter Leith is doing right now here at 1960 Union Avenue.
Yeah, right now we want you guys to come out at 8 a.m. to donate. It's the Porter Leith toy truck. You can see the truck right behind me, the big truck, and we need your help to fill it all up. So make sure you guys come out here. Quick thing, I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at your screen and see how easy and how simple it is to just get in line and come and donate. Now, this is the 175th anniversary of serving children and families across the community. Porter Leith has expanded, meaning they are giving 5,000 gifts to children in the area. We're looking for items like wooden puzzles, educational toys, play kitchens, and more. Now go ahead and take a look at your screen again, because you should be seeing a QR code that lets you scan if you're in your bed or in the office. Now it's so easy, like 1, 2, 3, go ahead and scan that QR code. But if that QR code isn't working for some type of reason, or technology is being a hassle, you can go ahead and text this number to 50155. I'm gonna repeat that again. It is 50155 to donate. Now, the first $50,000 of monetary gifts will be matched by a Secret Santa in the community. Once again, like I said, I want you guys to come up here, come visit us, come visit me, come see the anchors, come see people behind the scenes, and give to a good cause. Like I said, we're looking for gifts for the ages from 0 to 5. So look in that closet, see what gifts that you haven't touched over the years, see if you can go get something from the store. It doesn't have to be much, just the thought that counts. Reporting in Midtown, Jared Thomas, Action News 5.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Well, don't look now, but the Memphis Grizzlies are surging, all while Ja Morant is still battling an injury and out of the lineup. The team, get this, they've won 5 out of the last 6 games, 7 out of the last 9. Have they figured things out? How did they turn things around? Because it started out so poorly for the Memphis Grizzlies. Well, let's bring in someone who follows this team so carefully, so closely. I'm joined on the Action News 5 Digital Desk by the radio voice of your Memphis Grizzlies, Eric Hasseltine, joining us now on the Digital Desk. So, Eric, you know, it's been fun to watch this team as of late. I'm just curious, your perspective. Why are they doing so well now when they started off so poorly? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you very much.
Well, it's good to hear. Happy holidays to you and your family. Yeah, I think the easy answer is you got Zach Edey back into the mix, and he's played fantastic. It's opened things up for other guys like Jalen Wells and Cam Spencer and Cedric Coward. The other factor is, to be honest, you caught a good portion of the schedule where you're playing teams that are below 500. So they're winning games that you expect them to win. They're going to see some tougher teams coming up after their next 2 when they go to Minnesota next week on Wednesday. And then they come home. They'll have a game against a Washington team that's struggling, but then they have to go to Oklahoma City after that. So they'll get a little taste of some playoff team basketball. But for the most part, for the rest of December before Christmas, they're facing non-playoff teams. So this is their opportunity to get their record back towards that 500 mark. They're hoping for a return of Ja Morant very soon. There's no set date, but he's trending towards sooner rather than later is what they'll tell you. And then you hope to get the rest of the reinforcements where your full array of depth is back in the mix. Ty Jerome, who was signed in the offseason, who we haven't seen yet, Scottie Pippen Jr., and then Brandon Clark. And I think that's when you can truly see what this team can be and what they're capable of. There's growing pains anytime you have a new coach and a new system and a different way of doing things. And I think they experienced some of those. And while they were experiencing those growing pains, they were banged up as well. They were missing key pieces. And going back to Zach Edey, I think everybody that's watched the Grizzlies can see what an impact he can have and how much better he is moving since the offseason ankle surgery, and what he does to change a game on both ends of the floor. So that's kind of the way I look at it, Andrew, and seeing them really be a resilient group. They've been down in games and come back. They've stayed the course of what they want to do and kind of worn some teams down at times by continuing to mix and match rotations and lineups.
You know, you mentioned a number of different players there, Eric, that are still injured and out of the lineup. You mentioned that, you know, Ja should be coming back soon, perhaps Scottie Pippen Jr. as well, Ty Jerome, that sort of thing. Do we have any time frames on when they should be coming back? After the first of the year, before the first of the year?
I think they've kind of set the timeline for Ty Jerome and Scottie Pippen, where if it matches up with the timeline and there are no setbacks, then they should be after the first of the year. They really haven't given a set timeline with Brandon Clarke. It's kind of a feeling out process. Synovitis is something that I've experienced it in my wrist years ago, and it can be really painful. So it's kind of, not a doctor, so I don't want to overdiagnose it, but it was explained to me as kind of like tendonitis, but in your joints. And if you've ever had tendonitis in any part of your body, you know it can be debilitating. So they're going to make sure Brandon's right. The trends for Scottie and Ty are both really good, and I think Ja's, you know, probably going to be before Christmas, barring any setbacks this week. So we'll see. That's the thing with injuries, and I do respect what the medical staff for the Grizzlies does by not giving you a set date, because we as fans and even broadcasters, you say, okay, he'll be back by X date. On that date, we're like a kid on December 24th going, can we open the presents yet? Can we open the presents? And then if something happens, then everybody's let down. So they let everybody's body do what it does and heal how it heals. And I think that's important, because there is no set timetable when it comes to injuries and people's healing processes. You got to make sure a guy's right. You don't want to rush them back too soon, because you still have all the way till April in this season. And right now, the way you're turning things back around, you're back in the top 10. You can trend towards that top 8, maybe even top 6 if you can catch a good run. So the start was not ideal, as you said. It was very poor. And rather than just let go of the rope, they said, hey, we know we're capable of getting ourselves back into the mix. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. And when we get healthy, then we'll make a run at it.
You know, you mentioned Zach Edey, and I was at the last game Sunday night, and I saw that. Is it me, Eric, or has he put on a lot of muscle? I mean, he looked so big down there. Not to say that he was, you know, a wilting, you know, flower or anything last year, but he just seemed a lot stronger and a lot more poised, I guess you could say.
So he's actually lost weight, but I think he's leaned up. I think that's a fair assessment. You know, look, college basketball players are still developing young men when we look at them. You know, that's why in the league we have this term called grown man strength. And when you're 25, 26, 27 years old and your body's fully developed and you've learned how to manage your eating habits, manage your sleep patterns, your recovery patterns better than when you're 19, 20, 21 years old. I mean, we've all been there. It's 21-year-old athletes aren't exactly completely in tune with everything their body's going to do, because they're incredibly resilient. They can go, you know, play 3 hours of basketball, go hang out with their friends till the sun comes up, and go play more basketball in 5 hours. You can't do that as you get older. You got to take really good care of yourself. And you know, the simple fact is the NBA season is a grind, and we see it right now, even with Cedric Coward, who's still playing really well, but you can see that the amount of games that he's played in the short amount of time, these guys have never done that when they get into the NBA. You know, college seasons, if you're on a high level team, you play 40 games over the same amount of time that the NBA plays 80 games. And so when guys hit this mark as a rookie, you know, you start to see the legs are given a little bit. They're going to have those nights where the juice isn't there because they're not used to it. But you look at that same player the next year, like Zach this year, you understand what it takes. You understand what playing 3 games in 4 nights is like. You understand what it's like to be, getting hit by a guy that's 6'6", 225 pounds of pure muscle when there's not a lot of those guys necessarily in the college ranks. So I think Zach took that to heart. I think when he had the ankle procedure, he's managed what he's eaten. He took a lot of pride in the fact that when he was in the draft, they listed him at 300 pounds, and he worked really hard to get below 300 pounds. And now it's at 290. And I think it's a very solid 290. So your eyes don't deceive you. He's moving better too. I think that creates more force. And I like the edge he's playing with. And we see the problems he can cause. And I like the fiery side of him. He gets fired up when guys are just kind of banging on him, and because that's all they can do. And it brings something out in him. He's a real quiet guy until you push that wrong button on the court, and he's going to come at you. He's not afraid of the moment. And, all these people that had doubts about whether or not he could play in the NBA, even that game Sunday, I watched him run the floor, and I was even blown away. I was like, man, he is moving. He is moving way better than people thought he could. And he catches up to fast breaks. He can run the floor. He's not ever going to confuse anybody with being Usain Bolt. But, for a guy his size, he moves a lot better, I think, than people expected him to do.
Isalo and some of the players, it seemed like there was a lot of scrutiny about friction between those two entities. Is that gone? Was that ever there to begin with? What can you tell us?
I don't know that I would call it friction. I think for guys that have not played in somebody's system, when the adjustments come and they come at a price of minutes or whatever it may be, then there's going to be some pushback. I mean, these guys have played a certain role all their careers, and I quote Lionel Hollins, who told me once, I use this quote a lot whenever I do interviews. I had the opportunity to talk to Coach Hollins on a nightly basis for our games, and aside from that as well. And one of the most poignant things I feel like he ever told me was that the hardest job he had as a coach is to get guys to accept their roles. Because guys didn't get to the NBA being role players. They got to the NBA because they were the guy. They were the guy their high school and college coaches and youth league coaches gave the ball to when you needed a basket. They were the guy that played the bulk of the minutes at their possession, and other guys were hoping to see what the leftovers were. When you come in and change up that philosophy and change up the strategy a little bit, it might meet with some resistance. I don't know if there was friction. I think there was frustration. But again, when you didn't have Zach Edey and you didn't have Ty Jerome and you didn't have Scottie Pippen, you didn't have Brandon Clark, you're missing 4 of your top 9 guys. So for a prideful team that's had a lot of success over the years and in recent years has dealt with the frustration of injuries, and you're dealing with it again, I think it's natural for that frustration to come through. But you got a new voice, and it happened, and how it happened. I think they did a good job of button heads. I mean, this is like a family, and we talk about it a lot with our group. We're very lucky on the broadcast side. We're like the family that everybody goes, how do you guys not argue? But that's just how we are. We've worked together for 20 years. But when you go around the country with a team and you're going through the battles of day-to-day, practice and life, and your regular life can get involved too, you have those moments. I mean, just think of your own family. You had a bad day at work, you come home, and nobody in that house had anything to do with your bad day, but they're the first target you see coming in, and something minimal will set that trigger. So it's no different in the world of sports. You might be having a bad week, not shooting the ball particularly well. It's nobody's fault. It's just one of those things that happens, but then somebody says or does something and you get frustrated and emotions can take over. I thought they did a good job of squashing it. It's kind of gone by the wayside. Winning certainly always helps that. So there's going to be some more struggles. They're going to have some tough stretches on the schedule, and how they handle it and battle through it and get through it will be the telltale sign of where this team can go or where they will go, and what will happen moving forward with this group.
Right. So I want to ask you about this, and you mentioned it earlier that the NBA schedule is a grind. There's no question about it. But over the last couple of years, Eric, it just seems like there have been so many injuries for our Memphis Grizzlies. And, you can't help as a fan to look at it and say, are we doing everything possible to make sure that our guys are, when it comes to strength and conditioning, that they are at the very peak, optimal level when it comes to strength and conditioning? Or should we go about it a different day? Can you talk about that at all?
I mean, I sit with those guys on the medical staff. I can tell you they are doing everything possible. And when you look at some of the injuries, let's go back and examine some of them. You can't predict a ruptured Achilles. That happened to Brandon Clark a couple of years ago. You can't predict a torn labrum. That happened to Ja Morant. These are not chronic nagging. Your body has too much pressure on its joints. You're not training the right way. It's chronic tendonitis. These are injuries former Grizzly Desmond Bain is chasing after a ball and steps on the ball because it got kicked inadvertently and rolls his ankle 90 degrees the wrong way. That's just a freak injury. Steven Adams, when he was here, diving on the floor to get a ball, lands directly on his knee and it pops something out of place and he's not the same. So the medical staff works incredibly hard. I'm impressed with everything they do on a day-to-day basis. It's hard to just chalk it up to bad luck, but that's, I think, the honest, truthful case is you've just had a run of bad luck with, not nagging injuries. I'm trying to think of the right word for it. This isn't a chronic, hamstring issue where you didn't stretch properly, so you pulled it. These are, synovitis can't necessarily be controlled. Ty Jerome pulling his calf muscle. And you see a lot of that in the league right now. In fact, there's a lot of soft tissue injuries. And I also think, Andrew, a lot of teams are being really cautious, especially with what happened in last year's playoffs. You look at two of the biggest stars in the Eastern Conference, both rupturing their Achilles tendon and doing it in the postseason. We talk about Jason Tatum in Boston and Tyrese Halliburton in Indiana. And for the Pacers, that set their season to, all right, well, this year's a wash because we don't have our guy, so we're going to make some roster moves, and then we're going to get ready for when he comes back. Boston made some moves, but they're playing good basketball, but they definitely missed Jason Tatum. And Damian Lillard, same thing. He was in Milwaukee. That changed what the Bucks are going to do. We had three pretty significant injuries there, and now you're seeing teams go, well, he's got a soft tissue injury, which generally means a calf or something like that, and they're going to monitor it, and they're going to strain it, and they're going to make sure he's not out there toughing it out. I mean, I do remember the days where you could see guys get off a bus, kind of limp and hobble, go, into the treatment room, and then they run out onto the court. Is that the safest thing for them? We've seen it with Kevin Durant in the past when he was with the Warriors. He wanted to play. He tried to play. He ruptures his Achilles. He's out for the next year. So I think there's more caution on this stuff. But, yeah, the rash of injuries from 2 years ago, last year it was obviously better. But it's just been one of those things where you shake your head and go, I'm ready for this to be over. Okay, we've paid our penance to the basketball gods for whatever we did wrong. I think we've served enough time. Let's keep the injury list a little bit cleaner for the next year and a half, if possible, please.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, listen, Eric Hasseltine, love chopping it up with you, and we talk about Memphis Grizzlies stuff. I appreciate it, and I look forward to watching the next game and the next part of the season because it's really at an exciting point right now, and really looking forward to when these guys come back. So thank you very much. Happy holidays to you and your family, and look forward to our next conversation real soon.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. As always, happy holidays to you and all your viewers out there. Really appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Eric. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We always love checking in at the Memphis Botanic Garden. There's so many great things happening right now, especially with Holiday Wonders, the holiday season, holiday coming up, and now Gift of Greens. I'm joined on the Action News 5 Digital Desk by Mary Helen Butler to talk more about the festivities, including Gift of Green. Good morning, Mary Helen. How are you?
Yeah, good morning. Well, today is Giving Tuesday. So what better day to think about crossing off names on your gift list while at the same time supporting a local nonprofit. So you're giving to your friends and loved ones, but you're also giving to the community when you support someone like the Botanic Garden.
So tell me about Gift of Greens. What exactly is it and how people can get involved?
Yeah, well, we have a great gift shop year round. Karen, our manager, gets really unique things that you don't see everywhere else. But for the holidays, she's expanded. This whole hallway behind me in our visitor center is filled with unique, whimsical gifts. Things like this great Christmas tree garland that I'm wearing now. We've got some really cool handmade Christmas trees. If you need to stop for a hostess gift, check out this little wine bottle topper. It's a mushroom, and it can also be a Christmas ornament. So nice nature themed things. We also have plant gifts. You can come by and pick up your potted house plant, but then choose a creative container or pot for it to go in, and you've got a ready-made gift. So it's really easy if you're just stopping by. We're located right in the geographic center of the city, so it's easy to run in, grab a gift on the go if you need something quick.
I love the 96 acres of beauty there on right in the city. As you mentioned, one of the prettiest places in all of Memphis, the Memphis Botanic Garden. So with Holiday Wonders, I'm sure crowds have been coming by, checking things out. And that's essentially what Gift of Greens is, right? To check things out there?
Well, yeah, the Gifts of Green is our holiday shop. But yes, the other way you can support the garden is by coming to Holiday Wonders, which started last Friday night, and it'll run select dates through the holiday season. So viewers can check our website for the nights we're open and special theme nights and how to get tickets. But they also will have a membership table, a place where you can purchase gift memberships, which that's another way to support Memphis Botanic Garden, is to give the gift of a garden. If you have a family that you can't think of what else to get them, a family membership can be purchased for $125. And if they have young children, that's, a year worth of play dates in my big backyard. Or an individual membership can be purchased for $75. So if you have a friend who likes to travel, garden membership gets you in gardens across the country for free. If you have a person who likes to exercise, this is a great gift to give to them, where they can come and walk and be surrounded by beauty as they do their daily walk. So lots of ways to support the garden. It's so easy too. You just log on to our website, and there's a form where you can put in the information, and your recipient will be sent a gift certificate, or you can even have it sent to you so that you can wrap it up yourselves to give them in person. These can also be purchased here at our visitor center at the desk. But what's great about these is it doesn't start when you purchase the membership. Your year doesn't start then. It starts when your person redeems it. So if they are kind of busy over the holidays and in January, and they don't come in until February to redeem it, then they have a year from that. So great gift idea here.
I love it. All right, Mary Helen Butler with Memphis Botanic Garden joining us on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Thank you so much for letting us know about all the great ways we can support Memphis Botanic Garden. We appreciate your time. Happy holidays.
Thanks. Same to you.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We are smack dab in the middle of the holiday season, and that translates to so many people out there that you're having fun with family, with friends, getting together, maybe having some cocktails. What about the idea of holiday pop-up bars? When I saw this on the schedule, I was like, I know exactly who to talk to when it comes to holiday pop-up bars. Jalen Suchek joining me on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. She runs, along with her staff, the I Love Memphis blog, and I know for a fact that this is a segment worth listening to. Jalen, tell me all about holiday pop-up bars. I love this subject. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Andrew. Thanks for the great introduction, as always. And I'm right there with you. I love a good holiday pop-up. And what I've really been loving is every year we've been adding more and more. The Memphis restaurant bar community continues to go above and beyond with these pop-ups, we're talking about just decked out decor, those picture little photo ops, themed cocktails and fun glasses. It just has all the fixins. So there are quite a few this year, so we will get through them. The first one is going to be, a lot of people would have been familiar with the Miracle pop-up that used to happen at the liquor store on Broad Avenue. With that restaurant closing, they did move it to their other restaurant, which is Hen House in East Memphis. So the good news is that it continues to live on. And this is kind of a big ordeal setup. Miracle only has one pop-up per state, and they help coordinate it with the restaurant. So you can see it's fully decked out. This is a look at this year's setup. They have 17 different holiday cocktails, and many of them come in really, fun, festive glassware that you're seeing now. They're open for brunch, happy hour, dinner, late night. Definitely encourage some reservations. And then I think when I went also last week, and I had I want to say an old fashioned that had gingerbread in it. Really recommend that one. But their Christmas Cosmopolitan is their best seller, is what they told me. But that's definitely one of the first places you got to stop at.
I love that. Tell me what consists of a holiday pop-up bar. Is just more holiday drinks on the menu, the festive decorations, more than that? What is it?
Yeah, it's a mix. They have the decor, it's all decked out, and then they generally will have an extra, special menu that's either going to be just for drinks that are only available for the pop-up, or maybe some bites, but then it's also in addition to their traditional menu. So these places will still serve your favorites along with the pop-up. So it's, it's just kind of a very festive and immersive experience in this bars that you kind of know and love.
'Tis the season for holiday pop-up bars. Let's go, Jalen.
Yeah, so the next one, we're heading to Cooper Young. This is going to be at Mary's BOTE. So it's the Surf and Santa pop-up. This is their second year because they are a newer bar doing this. So again, it's a tiki bar, and they have all the fun holiday drinks. This is a look at last year's because it just opened for the season on Monday. So we have not had a chance to check it out, but I've seen some pictures, so you can expect many of the same fun glasses and decor in there as well. What I love about this is like that big drink you just saw is a really fun shareable cocktail. So you can, at the table or order your own. An important thing to know about only bar, but a lot of fun. Definitely go early. It's a little bit smaller in there, but they do have a patio in the back when it's maybe a little bit warmer, unlike today.
Yeah, no doubt. We need something to warm us up. And, of course, a nice, tasty adult beverage would do just right. Let's go.
Yeah, and then we're back to East Memphis. So if you went to the Hen House while you're out there, go across the street, go to Magnolia and Mistletoe. This is happening at Magnolia in May restaurant. They are doing this through the end of the year as well. And what they do is, you're seeing from last year's decor, they'll decorate, and then they have a special menu as well. So they're going to have some festive themed cocktails, boozy treats, seasonal desserts, like a Christmas cookie martini is one of the drinks this year, or a Panda Claus and a naughty gingerbread. And they're also open for brunch, lunch, and dinner.
Do we know how long these stay on the menu? Is it just once Christmas hits, it's off?
And for that one specifically, they're going to run it through December 31st. So you can expect that most of these basically will cut off at the new year.
Gotcha.
But then, we have more too. We're going to head out to Collierville this time. We are going to Wolf River Brisket. They go all out with the decor. This is the third annual Wolf River Brisket Christmas. You can see it is just decked out. This year they have a really fun entrance. It's kind of a Whoville themed photo op before you head in. So you can get a cute little family photo in there. What I do really love about this is they have kid-friendly drinks too. So, maybe some fun hot cocos and teas. And then for the adults, you can try their gingerbread house. Gingerbread, of course, is a big theme among these Christmas pop-ups, or the Ebenezer eggnog. I know it's not popular with everybody, but I love an eggnog. And also what's really cool here is they have a heated patio that's enclosed, screened in, and they have that decorated for the holidays too. And I know in the past they've put holiday movies out there, so you can come here multiple times and have different experiences each time.
Nothing wrong with a little eggnog as long as it has, some sort of, Bailey's and cream? Is that what you would put in there?
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe some Kahlua. Not everybody loves
nice.
eggnog, but I'm a sucker for it.
I like it too. I'm with you.
All right, this next one is not technically a holiday pop-up, but they just decorate so well that you can't not include them, and that is Young Avenue Deli and Cooper Young. They have kind of a next level decor. These are images from last year. This year has gone, I think it's even bigger and better, but you can just see how festive it looks like in there. And Young Avenue Deli is nice because it's a little bit more laid back vibes. You can get some more comfort food if you're not thinking of maybe like a special night out and wanting to spend a lot on cocktails. Highly recommend that going out here. They do karaoke. It's really busy on the weekends I've seen, so highly recommend maybe a weekday visit too.
I love the fact that all these are happening around town, and I know that there's more, right? You have more listed on I Love Memphis blog.
Yeah, correct. And one of them is going to be a coffee shop, which is really important. So if you're not just wanting to go out and drink, you can go to JoJo's Espresso in Germantown. They're really known for also doing the really great Harry Potter pop-ups during the fall. So they go all out with their decor, and they have a specialty fun menu, like a gingerbread chai latte, a Yule fog, and just really good. They also have food there as well. You're going to know that like a lot of the coffee shops in town do have fun, festive drinks right now, but JoJo's kind of takes it to the next level with their decor. And then also something that's really new this year that I thought was fun is the Kokoza East, their new East Memphis location. They are doing Christmas in the back room. So if you are someone that's looking for maybe like a family gathering, a work gathering, they've transformed an unfinished room in the back of the restaurant to essentially be a new hidden pop-up. It's Sopranos inspired, which is a great nod. It's an Italian restaurant, Kokoza East. And they made it very into like a vintage holiday lounge. And it's, it's bookable again for company dinners or small group gatherings. They'll have like a turntable in there with Christmas vinyls that you can play, a vintage Polaroid wall with camera and film included. So it's just a really fun, intimate space that you can utilize.
I love it. This is so good. I look forward to checking them out. Of course, I've been to a number of these that you brought up, but I haven't been to as many with the holiday spirit and the holiday spirits as well. Anything else you want to mention before we let you go, Jalen? This is fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. If you go to ilovememphisblog.com, you'll find this right on our homepage with all the information and links so you can plan your visit. Again, highly encouraged to make those reservations. And then we have a ton of holiday guides up on the blog right now. So if you're looking for holiday markets, shopping guides, some of our big holiday attractions, must-dos, upcoming holiday events, like the list goes on, holiday parades, we all have it on the blog right now.
All right, ilovememphisblog.com. Jalen Suchek, always prepared, always giving us some of the best segments around, and we appreciate you coming on the Action News 5 digital desk each and every time you do. Thanks so much for all of this. I mean, what a great resource for so many people to truly get into the holiday spirit, no matter your flavor, no matter your taste. Jalen, thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andrew. Happy holidays.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. Have you ever heard of Banana Ball? I had to look this up. Banana Ball is on a world tour in 2026, next month, and they are going everywhere, including Memphis. So there is going to be some 3.2 million fans that are going to check out Banana Ball in 2026. They're going into 75 different stadiums, 45 states, 71 cities. and one of those cities is Memphis. So I had to Google it. I had to do my own search. It is incredible. Let me show you some of this video that is amazing, okay? And it is coming to Memphis next year. There's all kinds of things all kinds of tricks, stuff that's never been done before. And I'm joined on the Action News 5 digital desk by one of the players, Clark Gilmore, joining me now to talk more about Banana Ball, what it is, and what the fans can expect when it comes to Memphis. Clark, tell me what's going on with Banana Ball and the craze that is affecting everyone who sees it. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. As you said, we have 3.2 million people that we're going to affect in person in the 2026 Banana Ball Tour. We've got 6 new teams. I'm a member of the newest one, the Indianapolis Clowns, and we're going to get to play in, as you said, 45 states. But really, this is the greatest show in sports. Fans get to experience the game like you never have before, and when you come to the ballpark, you never know what you're going to get.
So we're looking at some video right now. It looks very intense. It looks high energy, trick shots. But there's actually a baseball game going on, right? Explain it to us in layman's terms.
There sure are. We've got players with the greatest baseball skills in the world. We have College World Series champions. We have former first-round draft picks. And we also have a former World Series champion in my teammate, Jackie Bradley Jr., who won a World Series with the Boston Red Sox and is now a member of the Indianapolis Clowns. But yeah, this is baseball without the boring stuff. There's no bunting, there's no walks, and the fans get to participate in a way they can't in any other sport, where if they catch a foul ball, it counts. The batter's out. So the fans get to have this impact that you can't in any other place in the world.
That sounds amazing, Clark. I love it. Tell me the origins. How did this come about?
Well, our fearless leader, Jesse Cole, got things started when he took over as the Savannah Bananas president for the Coastal Plains Collegiate Baseball League. But then he noticed that, people weren't coming to games. People weren't staying the entire length. Baseball's a long game. I've played it for a long time. And when he realized that, he felt like he needed to keep the fans in their seats. And so with the birth of Fans First Entertainment, he put that focus on the fans. What do fans want to see? Well, they want to be at the ballpark for a specific amount of time. So let's put a 2-hour time limit on the game. What do fans want to do? They want to bring their glove to the field and have the ability to make an impact on the real game. And now they can. With a foul ball, they can make that play. So really, it was putting the fans first and getting to this point now where we're impacting over 3 million people in person next year.
That sounds awesome. I don't know when it's going to be here in Memphis. Perhaps you do. So this all stems from the Savannah Bananas?
Absolutely. The Bananas were the first team, and they ended up taking on the Party Animals, who we will be playing March 7th and 8th here in Memphis at AutoZone Park, the 2025 Tour Champion Party Animals, that is. But everything started with the Bananas and then the Party Animals, and we expanded to 4 teams last year. And there was a draft in November to add 2 additional teams, the Loco Beach Coconuts and my team, the Indianapolis Clowns. And now we have those 6 teams that make up the Banana Ball Championship League, where each team will be playing 60 games across the 2026 World Tour.
That sounds fantastic. So if someone's watching this, and we have thousands of people who watch each and every morning, Clark, if someone's watching this and they want to get tickets, how should they prepare for this game?
Well, the best way to prepare to get tickets is the wait list is long, but head over to bananaball.com and that will tell you all the information you need on tickets. But let me tell you this, if you get the chance to go to a Banana Ball game, you got to go. I got to experience it as a fan myself before entering the organization, and it was without a doubt the most fun I ever had at a sporting event. I got to go on the field. I got to be a part of the in-game entertainment. I got to watch fans make plays in the stands. It really is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I certainly couldn't recommend it more.
That sounds fantastic. I'll give you the last word, Clark. Anything else you want to mention? You're, by the way, an accomplished baseball player as well, a pitcher, my understanding, right?
Absolutely, yeah. If you'd like to see a behind the back pitch, a guy throw on stilts, someone hit a baseball, the hardest thing to do in sports, off of a unicycle. You're going to see those types of things at a banana ball game. And we'd love to see you guys out at AutoZone Park March 7th and 8th to take on the Party Animals.
Fantastic. Wow. Clark Gilmore really selling it for us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I appreciate your time, Clark. This is going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it myself. Coming up in March at AutoZone Park with Banana Ball 2026. Clark Gilmore, really appreciate your time on the Digital Desk. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Andrew.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Approaching 7:55 on your Friday. I'm Andrew Douglas taking a live look outside from our High 5 camera downtown Memphis. Look at that gorgeous shot there. 46 degrees on this Friday morning. It's going to be really nice later today. Before a chill comes this weekend, we'll be talking more about your forecast in just a little bit. But first, we want to get to some of the stories that we are following at this hour. And we begin with the toy truck drive that's happening outside of our studios here at 1960 Union Avenue. Action News 5 and Porter Leaf teaming up to help kids in need this holiday season. Action News 5's Jared Thomas has more on that.
Yeah, right now we want you guys to come out at 8 a.m. to donate. It's the Porter Leaf toy truck. You can see the truck right behind me, the big truck, and we need your help to fill it all up. So make sure you guys come out here. Quick thing, I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at your screen and see how easy and how simple it is to just get in line and come and donate. Now, this is the 175th anniversary of serving children and families across the community. Porter Leaf has expanded, meaning they are giving 5,000 gifts to children in the area. We're looking for items like wooden puzzles, educational toys, play kitchens, and more. Now go ahead and take a look at your screen again, because you should be seeing a QR code that lets you scan if you're in your bed or in the office. Now it's so easy, like 1, 2, 3, go ahead and scan that QR code. But if that QR code isn't working for some type of reason, or technology is being a hassle, you can go ahead and text this number to 50155. I'm gonna repeat that again. It is 50155 to donate. Now, the first $50,000 of monetary gifts will be matched by a Secret Santa in the community. Once again, like I said, I want you guys to come up here, come visit us, come visit me, come see the anchors, come see people behind the scenes, and give to a good cause. Like I said, we're looking for gifts for the ages from 0 to 5. So look in that closet, see what gifts that you haven't touched over the years, see if you can go get something from the store. It doesn't have to be much, just the thought that counts. Reporting in Midtown, Jared Thomas, Action News 5.
Okay, want to tell you about Cameron Brooks, convicted of aggravated rape and mistakenly released from the Shelby County Jail, is back behind bars after turning himself in yesterday. The sheriff's office says the release was the result of a tech error. His mother says officers pushed her aside during his rearrest, and that he was allowed out in the same clothes he came in because staff didn't double check. We reached out to Shelby County and the IT department about what exactly went wrong and whether anyone will be disciplined as a result. So far, we have not heard back from them. Now, we also want to let you know about him being the second inmate accidentally released from Shelby County. Anthony Green, that you see here, was also accidentally released back in September after being convicted of murder. He has still not been brought back into custody. His bond was revoked as part of his conviction. Shelby County Sheriff's Office in this case blames his release on a deputy error. He was scheduled to be sentenced last month. Inappropriate behavior from a former Shelby County deputy has stripped his badge after sexual misconduct allegations inside a Shelby County courtroom. The Sheriff's Office told us during the post-certification commission that former deputy Lewis Hamlet admitted to engaging in inappropriate sexual misconduct at least 3 times inside a Shelby County courtroom with a clerk. During the post-decertification hearing, he said the allegations he wanted to take accountability for what he did. Operation Junkyard Dog here. We want to show you this. This is a situation where 9 people were arrested following this 2-week operation. Investigators say that they've been stealing copper. Memphis police say Operation Junkyard Dog recovered more than $10,000 worth of copper tubing. 9 people face several charges ranging from burglary to drugs to theft. One of the men charged, Jesse Perez, had the case against him dismissed. Let's now talk about D.A. Barton and his priorities for the new year. He is talking about this billboard here, the DeSoto County District Attorney sharing his list of priorities. His billboard says, Memphis criminals turn back now. Prison awaits you in DeSoto County. He wants lawmakers to redraw a new circuit court judge district for DeSoto County. He also wants to have an amendment to the Sex Offender Registration Act, which would give local prosecutors more authority to revoke a bond. The 2026 legislative session begins January 6th. Real-Time Safety Center for Memphis Shelby County Schools is now open. It's a first-of-its-kind facility, open 24/7. It's staffed with 20 people. The center will allow officers to respond faster to potential threats for emergencies at various schools, and it also has a simulation room giving officers the chance to train for different emergency situations. The former West Helena mayor is back behind bars this morning. Arkansas State Police say Christopher Franklin Sr. faces a new set of felonies for failing to file income taxes. He turned himself in December 5th, was charged with attempting to evade. Back in June, Arkansas State Police arrested Franklin on 4 felony charges for failing to pay or file state taxes. He was later removed as West Helena's mayor. He'll be back in court next month. Memphis Fire Department investigating this fire in South Memphis. We brought you this as breaking news yesterday morning. Macklemore Walk Place, 6 o'clock in the morning. The building was vacant. They do believe it is a case of arson. $70,000 of damage was done. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. Big economic investment that we are hearing about in Shelby County, or rather in Mississippi. And that kind of economic investment is happening in all across the state, including an $8.5 million investment in Marshall County. The site is 12,000 acres of land ready for the Burlington North Santa Fe Railway to develop. Let's talk now about the Grizzlies and Zach Edey. Zach Edey is now, he is expected to be out for at least 4 weeks with a stress reaction to his left ankle, the same ankle he had surgery on this summer. John Conchar is also out with a ligament tear in his left thumb. He'll undergo a procedure, is expected to make a full recovery. Tip-off against the Jazz and the Grizzlies set for 7 o'clock tonight. Let's get another check of our forecast with meteorologist Patrick Ellis.
He struggled in the last couple of games, just 6 mishandled, picked up by Jock Landale. Grizzlies in transition. They find an open KCP for 3. Bango. KCP was in an 0 for 11 slump. Since then, he is 12. Good defense. Avdia wanted a foul. Gets no satisfaction. Jaron to the rim with 2 hands. Good transition effort by the Grizzlies. Been much better here in the third quarter. Shaden Sharp going into the spin, forced into a fadeaway, and a tough shot by Shaden Sharp goes down. He's got 14. The steal. Pass intended for Reith.
Oh, nice pass. Wow.
Pass intended for Reith.
Oh, nice pass.
Oh, threading the needle. Cam Smith.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We are smack dab in the middle of the holiday season. It can be very busy for so many of us, and sometimes the last thing that's on the back burner is safety. You know, there's a lot of safety that you need to keep mindful of this time of year. Let's bring in someone to just kind of give us those friendly reminders. We have Dr. Travis Webb. He is the medical director of Regional One Health's Firefighters Burn Center, joining us on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. So, Travis, tell us where people make the biggest mistakes this holiday season. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, and thanks for having me. You know, there are plenty of opportunities for mistakes over the holidays, and certainly as it's colder outside. One of the big problems that we see is people trying to stay warm and using things like radiators and fireplaces, which can be quite hazardous if you get too close and have flammable materials around them. So keeping a distance is always something that we really want to stress to people, and just remember how dangerous fire can be and heat producing radiators can be.
Yeah, you know, we hear that. We hear that a lot, where people are heating their homes unconventionally, and that poses a danger out there, either with ovens or space heaters, with not giving the space heater enough space, radiators, as you mentioned, that sort of thing. What about decorations, specifically decorations maybe outside or, you know, inside? What kind of things do you see inside your burn unit there?
So you know, quite honestly, the biggest problem with decorating is putting the decorations up, and so we see a lot of people who fall utilizing ladders, which may not be in good repair or may not be the appropriate height, and climbing up into trees, especially when you get a little older and you shouldn't really be up in a tree. So stay out of those situations as much as possible. Always have a couple people to help. If you're on a ladder, have somebody steadying that ladder for you. And then the other issues that we frequently see are utilizing old frayed lights and types of decorations that may well have been damaged during previous use, and so making sure that your lighting and decorations are in good repair, are appropriately to be used outside. So, you know, as you know, there's indoor and there's outdoor rated lighting. And you always want to make sure that you're using the outdoor if you're using outdoor decorations.
Let me ask you this, because a lot of times when we talk to doctors and nurses, you know, during the year with various holidays, they'll always say, okay, this is the biggest injury we see during this time of year with this holiday. When it comes to this holiday season, what are the biggest injuries, I guess you could say, that you see at the hospital?
So as I said, falls are very frequent. So whether it's outdoors or indoors, hanging things up. But from a burn standpoint in particular, quite honestly, we see a lot of injuries from cooking. So you may get very kind of lackadaisical and not thinking about it, but cooking injuries are quite frequent. We see people splattered with grease, and those injuries can be quite severe to the hands, to the face, to the chest, and then just contact burns. So forgetting or thinking that you can grab onto that pot, not realizing how hot it might be, and you can end up with a very severe burn to the hand. And obviously, if it's real hot, you drop the pot and it lands, the fluid or whatever you had, the chili that you have in there, lands on your legs, and you can end up with very severe burns from those types of situations.
Anything else you want to mention before we let you go? I know we've talked about space heaters, we've talked about food, decorations, falls. Anything else?
I think the other big thing to remember is, the holiday time is a wonderful time to have candles, and candles can be very, very dangerous and lead to house fires if left unattended. They can get knocked over by the unsuspecting children and such. And so be very careful with candles that are so beautiful, but can lead to a lot of injury and loss of house and actually a loss of life. And so consider using the battery-powered fake candles. They look pretty good nowadays.
All right, Medical Director of Regional One Health's Firefighter Burn Center. We got Dr. Travis Webb joining us on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Thanks for the useful tips and suggestions on this great interview for so many people out there. We appreciate your time. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. There is so much research that's happening at the University of Memphis. We talk to some of the professors and some of the researchers these days, and they do deep dives into topics that affect our daily lives, everything from, dietary supplements or ADHD research. And this morning, I'm excited about our next interview because it's research that is a very important topic these days when we talk about aging, dementia, Alzheimer's. I'm joined on the Action News 5 Digital Desk by Melissa Papa. She is a researcher, professor at the University of Memphis, the College of Health and Sciences, to do a deep dive on aging as it relates to Alzheimer's and dementia. Melissa, thanks for joining us this morning. First off, tell me a little bit about your research project, what it was, before we get into some of the nitty-gritty of it. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. So kind of the big topic that we're really discussing today is Alzheimer's disease and muscle loss with aging, which is also termed sarcopenia. And there's a huge link between this muscle loss that occurs as part of a natural aging process and the development of Alzheimer's disease.
I totally get that. I've made it, well known that my father has Alzheimer's disease, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Tell me specifically about this research project and maybe some of the things you discovered.
So what the research really shows is that Alzheimer's disease, it's not just a disease of the brain. It appears to be more of a systemic disease, so it affects pretty much all parts of the body. From metabolic function to muscle mass, and then of course what everybody associates it with the brain dysfunction, cognitive loss, and those types of things.
Got it. And Alzheimer's is such a devastating disease. I know it's a form of dementia, and so many people know about that. And I can totally understand how, when your brain suffers like that, it, as a result, affects the entire body. Tell us some more research that you discovered.
So we've seen that there's a lot of the risk factors that are systemic risk factors, things like type 2 diabetes, hypertension, inflammation, that are risk factors for things like cardiovascular disease, are actually also risk factors for the development of Alzheimer's disease. Things like chronic inflammation that occurs with a lot of different diseases can cause this disruption in the brain. We know that there's dysfunction of the mitochondria, both in the brain tissue, but also in the skeletal muscle tissue. And some of these dysfunctions that occur systemically happen prior to the loss of cognitive function. And so if we're able to kind of catch these types of things or prevent these systemic dysfunctions early, we may be able to slow the decline or even prevent the development of Alzheimer's disease in some individuals.
Thank you for going there. So essentially, you're saying that if there are certain signs and symptoms out there that can give us kind of a warning point to say, hey, look, if you don't change what you're doing, or if you don't change certain things that are happening, you could end up down this path of dementia and Alzheimer's. I would love to hear more about the signs and symptoms you're talking about.
Yeah, so one of the biggest signs of or predictors that is associated with, so it's not necessarily directly causing, but it's a good marker, is loss of strength. And so there's a large number of studies that have shown that in older individuals, those that have lower strength, so not necessarily muscle mass, but actual performance of that muscle, is associated with quicker declines if they do develop Alzheimer's disease, but also they're more likely to develop cognitive dysfunction or Alzheimer's disease. So they may have mild cognitive impairments earlier on than somebody who's able to maintain strength.
I hear so much, Melissa, about how important it is for older people as we age just to get out and move and exercise. So important for the body and the mind. And it just sounds like this is one of those situations that, once again, the research proves you have to, work out, stay active, walk, do what you can in order to continue to exercise throughout your life. Otherwise, you set yourself up for some diseases, and in this case, like Alzheimer's and dementia. Am I on the right path here?
Absolutely. Yeah, the research shows, a lot of the research shows that even if you're not doing a lot of exercise, something is better than nothing. So going and lifting weights, if not something that somebody does regularly, start with 1 time a week and then progress to 2 times a week. Keep walking or change the walk to a jog. Any sort of movement is better than no movement, and both aerobic exercise and resistance exercise have both shown to be beneficial in the prevention of Alzheimer's.
Okay, good to know. I want to ask about myokines. I don't know if I'm saying it right, and apparently they matter when it comes to Alzheimer's risk. Explain to our audience what they are and how they matter.
Yeah, so myokines are these little signals that are secreted from the muscle itself. So a lot of times people just think of the muscle as it's there to help us move and get around, and that's its only job. But there's a lot more to skeletal muscle than that. It's a very metabolic organ, but it also can release little proteins that signal to other organs. And these little proteins are called myokines. And so when we exercise, we actually get a bigger release of these myokines. And some of these myokines can travel up to the brain and can help with things like making new neurons, improving the health of the neurons that we currently have. A term that we call like synaptic plasticity, which basically just means your brain is a bit more adaptable.
Great stuff here. I love it, Melissa. So some final thoughts, some bottom lines out there for our audience before we let you go about the research you got.
Yeah, so there's a lot of studies that show strength is one of the best correlators or predictors of cognitive decline. So the more you can build your strength early doesn't mean you have to get big or bulky. Just be able to pick up things. Heavier the better. That's going to be a better indicator of cognitive decline. There's studies in the US, studies in China, all over the place that show that this is a big correlation. So really just kind of the more consistent you can be in exercising, the more you can prevent those systemic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, the better off you'll end up being in terms of keeping the brain healthy and the whole rest of the body healthy.
Gotcha. Is there a place we can see some of this research online, Melissa?
That's a good question. There's a lot of studies that are posted on the web, and I'm sure we can put a little post up that has some of the links to the research that I've referenced.
Okay, Melissa Pumpa, researcher and professor, University of Memphis College of Health and Sciences. Appreciate the deep dive into some of the research you found when it came to aging and Alzheimer's disease. Thank you so much for sharing that with us and our audience here on the Action News 5.
Edition of the weather forecast. Temperatures today will be a good bit milder than where we were even yesterday, and yesterday wasn't half bad. Of course, we had a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Today we'll still have a few passing clouds, but still some sunshine all throughout the day. Notice the wind direction, though. That's going to be critical because the winds will start off southwesterly, a warmer wind, westerly by mid to late morning, which is typically still a warmer wind as a general rule, then a northwesterly wind this afternoon, and that will usher in the cooler air that will eventually take us into the upcoming weekend. But I will tell you, this is not the coldest of the air. Remember, there is two fronts that will be moving through the area. The first front will move through here late today into tonight. Sunshine ahead of it, seasonably mild air to finish out this work week. The secondary front that will move through here, that's the Arctic front that will swing through here late Saturday into Sunday, yielding a brief yet very significant surge of Arctic air here across the Mid-South. Wind chills by the time we wake up early on Sunday morning could be in the single digits. So we'll go go from near 60 degrees here today to near 50 degrees coming up on Saturday, down to 28. Now, the official high on Sunday will likely occur sometime around midnight. It'll probably be closer to freezing. That, coupled with a very strong north wind blowing in here about 15, 20 miles per hour throughout the day, will make it feel much, much colder. So I encourage you to take the time now or tomorrow to get things kind of lined out and ready for the cold that will be moving into the area. Yes, it is brief. We'll add 10 degrees for a high going into your Monday, add an additional 10 going into Tuesday, and probably add an additional 10 to that to get into Wednesday. So we'll rebound pretty quickly over a 3-day period back to about 30 degrees. But of course, this source region coming directly out of Canada and the Arctic, and that cold air mass is going to be here for at least the early portion of the week. But an Arctic air mass, to say the least. And some of this cold air that we're talking about here is probably some of the coldest air that we've seen thus far this season. We know that for certain. What will be the question will be how cold will it be looking back to the winter season of 24 to 25, so earlier this year. And I think that we'll be at least rivaling some of those numbers as well. So when we look at the lows, when you wake up early Monday morning, getting the kids to the bus stop and yourself off to work, that first day of the week and the last week for many before the Christmas holiday break, look at it. 14 to 18 degrees here across the Mid-South to start off early Monday morning. Hard freeze for everybody here across the Mid-South. So a reminder again, go ahead and take the time now. Check in on your people. Just say, hey, do you have blankets? Do you have good heating elements? Are you good to go? Your pets, make sure that they have warm shelter or bring them inside or plan to bring them inside. Cover up your outdoor pipes and spigots. Get that little styrofoam thing, cover it up, your spigots as we head through the next couple of days. Clear out your furnaces and space heaters. Make sure that the space heaters have space. Make sure that everything's kind of cleared out, dust and lint and things like that get caught up in that, and that could catch fire. As far as dripping your indoor and out faucets and opening up at the cabinets, you want to have some airflow going underneath those cabinets, especially if you have poor insulation in your home or apartment. So just a couple of tips to get you into this holiday, this season of cold, but it will be a brief season of cold. Let's say it like that here as we head through the next few days. 60 the high temperature today here across the Mid-South, the Porter-Lee Toy Truck Drive. That again happening today here at 1960 Union. Hopefully you can come out and drop off a toy for a child who is in need here this holiday season, to have a joyous holiday season. It will be a beautiful day today. They'll be outside at 1960 Union between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. today. And then on Saturday between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. you can drop off your toys, or you can give us a monetary donation. We have a QR code that you can scan on actionnews5.com. Let's go into your Saturday. Also happening tomorrow on top of the Porter-Lee Toy Truck Drive is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl All-Star High School football game. That's happening over at MUS. Great weather for it. You know, a couple of years ago we had severe weather happening right in the core of that game. Not the case here this year. Partly cloudy skies. Cool with temperatures in the 50s to upper 40s. Will ease down by the end of the game into the mid 40s. And that gives you some indication that the coldest of the air will not be here Saturday. It will eventually move in here Saturday night into Sunday. So when you wake up early on Sunday morning, feels like temperatures. These are wind chills that will be in single digits, in some spots closer to 0 up along the Tennessee and Kentucky border to start off early Sunday morning. Most spots, again, anywhere from about 4 or 5 degrees to about 15 to 16 degrees starting off Sunday, and throughout the majority of the day it will be very gusty. Every time you get that little push of cold air into your area, you're going to feel that biting cold kind of cut right through you, and that will even take us into the overnight period of your Sunday into early Monday. By early Monday morning, we're talking actual air temperatures right around 18 degrees here in the city. Outlying areas will be into the mid-teens, only managing highs in the upper 30s. So again, add 10 from Sunday, add 10 to Tuesday, add 10 for Wednesday, and that will get us up to about 58 coming up on Wednesday. Clouds, a couple showers will be mixed in there. A little better chance may sneak in here on Thursday with the front that will come swinging through here Thursday into Friday. They'll knock the numbers back a couple of notches. I will give you a first alert, though, as we head towards the upcoming Christmas holiday week. This is the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. So this is, kind of starting with the end of our 10-day forecast and leading up into Christmas, above average temperatures and likely a high chance of above average temperatures, and typically this time of the year when you have above average temperatures, something's got to give at some point in time. We'll see how that plays out. And when I say give, usually means storms. We'll probably see thunder before we see snow moving through the next 10 days, or maybe even 16 days or so as we get closer to the end of the year of 2025, heading to the beginning of 2026. But I want to give you that first alert of the cold moving into the area for the upcoming weekend, start of next week, but it will not be lasting for very long, and soon enough we'll be on a warmer trend, including, it seems like for now, heading into even Christmas week, just beyond this 10-day forecast.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Well, you know, we're entering cold and flu season, and we're always trying to boost our immunity, or at least feel healthy, feel like we can handle anything. And when we enter into cold and flu season, there are so many things that can trigger us getting sick. And so what we want to do is we want to boost our immune system naturally, so our body can just fight off anything that comes our way. On the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I am joined right now by Callie Roll. She works at Lifetime Fitness in Collierville, joining us now to talk about some simple, easy ways that we can all boost our health with a stronger immunity and a stronger immune system. So, Callie, great to see you on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Where do we begin with all this? Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you too. I'm so excited to be chatting about this. Obviously, this is something I'm very passionate about. But when we talk about our immune system and exercise, so exercise has a very strong, helpful amenity to boosting your immune system. So when your body's healthy, your immune system works better. And we can't necessarily say that exercise increases immunity to certain diseases or illnesses. However, acute exercise improves our defense activity and our metabolic health. So typically, there are about small amounts of immune cells that kind of circulate through the body. And when you exercise, you increase the movement of blood and lymph. So you're increasing the movement from the lymph nodes and your spleen into the bloodstream. Which can help our defense activity tremendously. So when we talk exercise, the type of exercise we're talking about is mild to moderate. Nothing too high impact or crazy. And this can kind of look like walking, running, biking, and we want to aim for about 150 minutes per week.
Gotcha. And, you know, we do studies all the time, Callie, where it's just like, just get up and get moving, you know, for the week. You have to get that regular exercise because there's so many benefits, not just physically, but mentally. So here we are again, where exercise can help, you know, initiate that boost of your immune system, right?
Yes. Also looking at exercise and kind of going into this stress. So we need to pay attention to our body. So I always like to tell my clients, I'm like, you know your body best. If I'm pushing you way too hard past your limits, I need to know. So when I say mild to moderate exercise, that's going to look completely different from me or to you. So our viewers may look at this and be like, I don't know what mild to moderate exercise is for me. It's kind of, like I said, walking or running. So if you're more of a walker, do some walking. If you're into biking, do some biking. Nothing too high impact. And what's crazy is that doing too much and people are like, oh, I want to boost my immune system. I want to do this right. I'm going to go out to the gym 5 times a day and just go crazy. That actually is going to lead to more physical stress and mental stress as well, because your body is not used to that. It cannot handle that. So that's definitely going to improve, or not improve stress. It's going to increase our stress levels. So you really need to pay attention to that.
No question about it. Again, we talk about it, and I'm sure it's pretty a common thing. Where in your fitness training business, here you have to tell people, hey, listen, I'm going to train you, but hey, take it easy, take it slowly. Let's ramp up slowly, because if you overdo it, then it's going to cause more stress to your body and your immune system. What about other kind of exercises like yoga or meditation?
Yes. So when you're stressed, weakens your immune system. However, workouts such as yoga and meditation practices have been proven to show their ability to lower stress. So everybody gets stressed in their life and it feels like it's the end of the world, but simple yoga classes. Here at Lifetime, we really strive to get everybody into a yoga class or practice meditation, because like I said, everybody's going to experience stress. And especially when we're starting something new here at the gym, it can really be scary, or you're like, I don't know where to start. I always recommend yoga classes. Yoga helps because it involves gentle stretches, low impact movements that really promote relaxation and reduce your muscle tension. And then looking at meditation techniques such as controlled breathing or guided imagery really promotes that inner peace and can really take a load of stress mentally away. And we recommend guided meditation and yoga to almost everybody here at Lifetime.
And, even if you're not a member of Lifetime Fitness, there are opportunities like on your app, right, to get some of that mindfulness meditation. Is that right?
Yes. So our Lifetime app is a blessing. We have complimentary guided meditation techniques that allow members and non-members to download and follow through. And just daily habits like this can really start taking those stress levels down.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit about regular exercise. We've talked about yoga and meditation, and now let's talk a little bit about what else people can do. I guess various supplements or nutrition. Let me hear what we got going on over there behind you.
Yes, so these are my favorites for immune health. So first up, we have some vitamin C. So if you're not a supplement person, you can also get vitamin C from oranges, strawberries, broccolis, all that good stuff. But vitamin C is imperative when we're wanting to protect our immune health. So that's our first one. We also have some vitamin D. So as you all know, go out in the sun, get some vitamin D, but also supplements are a great way to kind of get that, especially going into the colder months. I don't want to spend my time outside when it's snowing. So vitamin D supplements have a huge impact on boosting our immune health. And then over here, I have Dream. This is actually a new product we just dropped. And I want to talk about Dream because sleep has a very big part in our immune health. And I know our recommended amount is 7 to 9 hours. So if you're having trouble sleeping, adding a little magnesium blend before you get ready for the night is just going to help relax you, take away that stress, and help you get a good, strong sleep throughout the night. So very important. And then we also have Hydrate. So if you're someone who really struggles to stay hydrated during the day, electrolytes are your saving grace. Super important because hydration plays a huge part in immune health. Yes, those are just some supplement ideas in case you need. And it's hard to go outside and get that sunlight in the colder months. So really pay attention to our vitamin D levels. And there's also a ton of foods that won't only boost your immunity, but also support your gut health. Because when you have a strong gut, it's going to be easier for your body to fight off these illnesses. So eating a balanced diet, like having a variety of vegetables and fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, all those good things.
Right. So, so we're talking about not only regular exercise and yoga and meditation, but also getting enough sleep, making sure you're hydrated, some nutritional supplements, vitamin D, vitamin C, that sort of thing, just to make sure that we're at optimal health. A lot of things you've hit on already this morning, Callie. Anything else that we can touch on before we let you go? This is very valuable for our audience.
Yeah, so I kind of just wanted to touch a little bit more on hydration, because a lot of people go throughout the day and just forget to drink water. The easiest way to know if you're getting enough water is know your body weight and then drink half of that body weight in ounces. And that would be an ideal hydration level that we would want you at. Very important to stay hydrated. Aids in toxin removal, and that can really support our immune function.
All right, Callie Roro on the Action News 5 digital desk, Lifetime Fitness personal trainer there. We appreciate you joining us to help us boost our immunity health this fall, cold and flu season and beyond. Thank you so much for the valuable information. We appreciate it this morning.
Thank you so much.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. Well, my next guest is a three-time Olympian, and he's currently the Team USA bobsled coach. And he, in less than 100 days, will be in Italy for the 2026 Winter Olympic Games. Look at that shot right there. Bobsled, certainly a very competitive sport in the Winter Olympic Games. I'm joined on the Action News 5 digital desk by Bartlett native and Lieutenant Colonel with the U.S. Army, Garrett Hines, joining us on the Action News 5 digital desk. Garrett, good morning to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved in bobsled, especially growing up in Bartlett? Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. How you doing? Thank you for having me. Just want to say hello to all the folks there in Tennessee and Bartlett High School, my old alma mater there. Basically, I got involved by chance. I met a gentleman in college, and we drove 22 hours to Lake Placid. He asked me to come and try out. He had a flyer in his hand, and the flyer was from a guy that I eventually ended up sliding with. His name was Bruce Roselli. He was my first pilot, and that was my introduction to the sport. We drove 22 hours. We ended up paying a fee to stay at the Olympic Training Center. The next day we got up, which was required to pass a test, take a national test, and we passed that test, at least I did. And from there, my career started, and I had no idea I would even end up there, coming from Tennessee, by way of SIU. So that was my start.
Wow. Okay. You know, it's so interesting to hear how people get involved in certain competitions and certain sports. And bobsled, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, Garrett, bobsled is one of those sports out there that you can travel super, super fast. And if you're not too careful, you can have an accident that can be devastating. I have some video I want to show our audience while you talk about what we're looking at here, because bobsled, give us the ideas behind it here and what the strategy is.
Well, basically, you're taking two of the most powerful guys you can possibly put together. And this is a two-man sled that you're seeing. The driver is on the left side. He's pushing at the drivers. We call the driver's bar. The brakeman is at the back. And you want to start the sled as fast as you can. You have 50 meters to get a time. That's called the start time. And you generally have about 42 meters to run before the groove lines run out. And you'll see those groove lines. That's what the sled is sitting in. Eventually, those are out, and you have to be in the sled and sitting down. And then the pilot there takes over and takes you to glory, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. So, so tell me a little bit more about your experience. I understand you've done this 3 different times in the Olympics. What has that been like? Which Olympic Games, and what are you hoping for Team USA coming up in less than 100 days?
Yes, I've been in the sport since 1992, and I joined the World Class Army Athlete Program in '96. And between that time and 2006, I competed in various games and world championships. The highlight of my career was my first medal, which was in 1996, and the medal in 2002. And then in that case, I continued on training and eventually moved over into coaching. So I went to my first Olympics as Olympic coach in 2022, and that was in China. And what we're expecting for the next 100 days, we've started our season. We're training. We will have competition in Italy, which is the track that we'll be competing in February. And we're expecting big things from all of our athletes. Our women team is stacked. Our men team, we have some of the best athletes in the world this year. We have the most depth in the world this year. And some of those athletes are from the World Class Athlete Program, which I represent, which I'm so proud to be a part of.
Fantastic. All right. Bartlett Panthers' own Garrett Hines here on the Action News 5 digital desk. Garrett, I talked not too long ago with another U.S. Army soldier that's going to be competing in the biathlon for the Winter Olympic Games. Tell me more about these soldier athletes that are competing in this year's Winter Games.
Well, one of the things that we have as part of our, I'd say, Army community is that we have this program which provides resources for us to train. And it takes most of our average athletes to just another level because we have those resources. We have the ability to support just like any other Army soldier. And on top of that, we get top tier training. And that really is the crux of why we have these amazing soldier athletes. A lot of them have careers as well that they manage along with being an Olympic athlete. And we're producing some of the best individuals, I believe, representing our country.
Excellent stuff there. I appreciate it, Garrett. You know, Action News 5, as you probably know, is carrying much of the Olympic Games in just a few months. Anything you want to say to our audience right now? We have thousands of people who watch the Action News 5 digital desk each and every morning.
Yes, I just want to say, a couple things here. We really appreciate, I do appreciate, I want to make sure that this is known that our leadership, WCAP leadership, has done a great job with bringing and growing this program. You can find out anything you need to know about that on GoArmy.com. I also like to say that we always appreciate the nation getting behind the U.S., especially in the last 100 days. Our athletes are going through a lot of stress. They're going through a lot of competition, and we need that support. And lastly, I would like to just, give I love you to my family. My mom, my aunt lives right there in Bartlett, Miss Shirley Hines. I want to say I love you and thank you for all your support, Andrew. And thank you for the city of Memphis and Bartlett and all the surrounding cities there that have always supported us. And even the mayor of Bartlett, I like to shout out to him, who's always given us support. So we really appreciate it and looking forward to doing great things here in the next 100 days.
Oh, yeah, we are looking forward to rooting you on as well, Garrett. Lieutenant Colonel Garrett Hines with the U.S. Army and coach of Team USA's bobsled team. Congratulations on such a successful career, not only in the military, but also with the Olympic Games, and good luck this upcoming Winter Olympic Games in Italy. Thanks so very much for joining us.
Thank you, Andrew. Love you guys.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Well, believe it or not, we are within 100 days until the 2026 Winter Olympic Games. And of course, there's going to be so much fanfare. It's in Italy this year. And there is an elite group of athletes. And of course, that includes some soldiers from the U.S. Army who are serving their country in more ways than one, specifically Staff Sergeant Deidre Irwin. She is preparing for her second Olympic appearance in the biathlon after a 7th place finish in 2022's Winter Olympic Games in Beijing. And she hopes to bring the first medal in the sport to the U.S. She is joining me right now on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, Staff Sergeant Deidre Irwin. Good morning to you. First, give me a little bit of background on who you are, where you're from, how long you've been in the Army. Good morning.
Morning. Thanks for having me. So I'm originally from Green Bay, Wisconsin area. I started skiing when I was 16 years old. And I started biathlon when I was about 25 years old, right before I joined the military. And so biathlon is a combination of Nordic skiing and precision rifle marksmanship. It's super unique winter sport that not a lot of people know about, but it's a really incredible, diverse sport where you have to have the endurance of Nordic skiing and then the precision of rifle marksmanship. And so I joined the military in 2019. And I've been, competing for the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program for this last Olympic cycle. And we're really excited to try and get the first Olympic medal for the U.S. biathlon.
Well, congratulations, and I appreciate you giving us a background. I do remember watching the biathlon. This is where, correct me if I'm wrong, this is where, the athletes ski like crazy. They try to go as fast as they can, and then they pull out a gun and start shooting target practice. I know that's a rough description, but is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, it's a rough description, but it's totally accurate. We're skiing our hearts out there, and then we have to get on the range, and we have to completely switch mentalities to all of a sudden become a calm, cool, and focused precision shooter. It's not really two sports you would think that would go together, but it's incredibly unique, and it's exciting because of that, because you never know who's going to hit all their targets or who's going to ski the fastest. And every day there can be a completely different athlete on the podium.
I love that. All right. Well, how does someone get into the idea of saying, you know what, I'm going to train for the U.S. Olympics? Oh, yeah? What are you going to train for? I'm going to train for a biathlon. Like, how did you come to that conclusion?
Yeah, so I grew up Nordic skiing, and in college I Nordic skied. And when I was thinking about retiring from it, I had a friend reach out to me and tell me about the sport of biathlon. And I didn't grow up, hunting or shooting or anything like that. So when I first got behind that rifle, it was the coolest thing I'd ever experienced. And then, like you said, adding that uniqueness of skiing as fast as you can and then trying to get on the mat and stop and shoot. It was addicting every single time I was able to hit a target. And so I think it's one of those things where for me, it kind of just fell into my lap and ended up becoming, just part of my path to, the Olympics that I didn't really know I was going to, pursue when I was younger, growing up wanting to be an Olympian.
Fantastic. Wait, did you say the coolest thing and you're talking about the Winter Olympics? Just kidding. I'll let that go, Deidre. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Great puns, great puns.
So tell me about how the U.S. Army has really supported your journey here with the Olympics.
Yeah, so being able to be a full-time soldier in the U.S. Army, specifically with the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program, it's been incredible. They've been able to take a lot of those stressors that you normally have as a professional athlete, especially as an Olympian. A lot of us, are in such unique sports that we're not able to get all the cool sponsor deals and everything like that to make it a full career. And so the U.S. Army has been able to help me in giving me a full-time competitive salary, the health benefits, student loan repayment, all of that stuff has been a weight taken off of my shoulders. So I can just really pursue and focus on just being an elite athlete and, being, another pun, all I can be in the Army, and so, trying to make it towards that Olympic podium.
Tell me about other soldiers that are part of the Olympic team in the U.S.
Yeah, so the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program has soldiers in many sports, from wrestling to bobsled, track and field, Nordic skiing and biathlon like I'm in. And we all have different military jobs, Army jobs. So I'm a human resource specialist. You have people who are truck drivers, infantrymen, supply sergeants, so we have these dual careers, which is really amazing because we're able to pursue our Olympic dreams and our Olympic potential while also building careers in the U.S. Army that when we do decide to retire from sport, we're able to fall back and have very successful, very fulfilling careers with the U.S. Army.
Fantastic. Okay, well, if someone's watching right now, and we have thousands who watch each and every morning here on the Digital Desk, if someone's watching, they want to support you and your journey, what can they do, Deidre?
Well, they can definitely follow me and find me on Instagram if you specifically want to watch biathlon. But you can also go to goarmy.com if you want to figure out how to be a soldier yourself or find out more about the other U.S. Army WCAP World Class Athlete Program soldiers in all the different sports.
Fantastic. Staff Sergeant Deidre Irwin headed to the Olympics, the Winter Olympics in Italy. Thanks for coming on the Digital Desk. Congratulations on all your success. And we're going to be rooting you on here in Memphis and the Mid-South as the games begin. We appreciate your time. Kevin. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. 8:57 is the time on your Friday morning. Take a look at that shot from our downtown High Five camera. Gorgeous this morning as you get up on this Friday morning. Get going here. It is certainly a beautiful day outside. We'll be talking more about temperatures and your forecast coming up in just a little bit. But first, I want to get to some of the stories we are following at this hour, and one of which has to deal with the Porter Leith Toy Truck Drive that is right outside of our studios here at 1960 Union Avenue in Midtown. Jared Thomas has more on the drive.
Yeah, right now we want you guys to come out at 8 a.m. to donate. It's the Porter Leith Toy Truck. You can see the truck right behind me, the big truck, and we need your help to fill it all up. So make sure you guys come out here. Quick thing, I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at your screen and see how easy and how simple it is to just get in line and come and donate. Now, this is the 175th anniversary of serving children and families across the community. Porter Leith has expanded, meaning they are giving 5,000 gifts to children children in the area. We're looking for items like wooden puzzles, educational toys, play kitchens, and more. Now go ahead and take a look at your screen again, because you should be seeing a QR code that lets you scan if you're in your bed or in the office. Now it's so easy, like 1, 2, 3, go ahead and scan that QR code. But if that QR code isn't working for some type of reason, or technology is being a hassle, you can go ahead and text this number to 50155. I'm gonna repeat that again. It is 50155 to donate. Now, the first $50,000 of monetary gifts will be matched by a Secret Santa in the community. Once again, like I said, I want you guys to come up here, come visit us, come visit me, come see the anchors, come see people behind the scenes, and give to a good cause. Like I said, we're looking for gifts for the ages from 0 to 5. So look in that closet, see what gifts that you haven't touched over the years, see if you can go get something from the store. It doesn't have to be much, just the thought that counts. Reporting in Midtown, Jared Thomas, Action News 5.
Cameron Brooks, convicted of aggravated rape and mistakenly released from the Shelby County Jail, is back behind bars this morning after turning himself in yesterday. The sheriff's office says the release was a result of a technology error. We reached out to Shelby County's IT department about what went wrong and whether anyone will be disciplined. So far, we have heard no response. He is back behind bars, but he is actually the second inmate to be released from Shelby County custody. This is Anthony Green. He was also accidentally released. Let me show Anthony right there. He was accidentally released back in September after being convicted of murder, and he has still not been brought back into custody. His bond was revoked as part of his conviction. Again, a convicted murderer accidentally released back in September from the Shelby County Jail. The sheriff's office blames his release on a deputy's error. He was scheduled to be sentenced last month. 9 people behind bars this morning. I want to show you these 9 people following a 2-week operation called Junkyard Dog. Memphis police say these arrests are people who they say have been stealing copper. Operation Junkyard Dog recovered more than $10,000 in copper tubing. These 9 people face several charges ranging from burglary to drugs and theft. One of the men charged, Jesse Perez, had a case against him dismissed. We also want to let you know about DeSoto County DA Matthew Barton. He has some wish lists that are out for the Mississippi legislative session that begins next month. He is asking for funds for a law enforcement training center in DeSoto County, along with money to build a Metro DeSoto County crime lab. Another request would be the revival of an amendment to the Sex Offender Registry Act, which would give local prosecutors more authority to revoke bond. DA Matthew Barton also wants lawmakers to redraw a new circuit court district judge seat for DeSoto County. The legislative session is expected to begin on January 6th. The Real-Time Safety Center in Memphis Shelby County Schools is now open. The school district says it's the first of its kind facility, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, staffed with 20 people. The center will allow officers to respond faster to potential threats or emergencies, and also has a simulation room giving officers the chance to train for different emergency situations. To Helena, West Helena now, where the mayor is back behind bars. Arkansas State Police say this man, Christopher Franklin Sr., faces a new set of felonies for failing to file income taxes. He turned himself in December 5th. Back in June, Arkansas State Police arrested him on 4 felony charges for failing to pay or file state tax returns. He was later removed as the Helena West Helena mayor. He will be back in court next month. The Memphis Fire Department is investigating a building fire. This is in South Memphis. Crews got to McLemore and Walk Place around 6 o'clock in the morning. Firefighters say the building was vacant. They do believe the fire was arson. They estimate about $70,000 of damage was due here due to the fire. If you know anything, please call or text Crime Stoppers. That number is 901-528-CASH. Big economic investment that's coming to Mississippi. Over $100 million in investment in economic development, infrastructure improvements, workforce training, tourism, and conservation initiatives across the state. Several of the projects will be in North Mississippi, including an $8.5 million investment in Marshall County for site acquisition. The site in Marshall County is 12,000 acres of land that is ready for the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway to develop. Let's talk about the Grizzlies now. They are once again in action against the Utah Jazz tonight. Ja Morant's questionable, but big man Zach Edey is out with an injury. He's been playing so well as of late. He suffered what's called a stress reaction in his left ankle. That's the same ankle he had surgery on this past summer. John Conchar is also out with a ligament tear in his left thumb. He's going to undergo a surgery. He's expected to make a full recovery. Regardless of the injuries, head coach says he has other guys ready to go. Tip-off tonight at FedEx Forum, set for 7 o'clock. Let's get another check of our forecast with meteorologist Patrick Ellis.
Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 digital desk here on a lovely Friday, the finally Friday edition of the weather forecast. Temperatures today will be a good bit milder than where we were even yesterday, and yesterday wasn't half bad. Of course, we had a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Today we'll still have a few passing clouds, but still some sunshine all throughout the day. Notice the wind direction, though. That's going to be critical because the winds will start off southwesterly, a warmer wind, westerly by mid to late morning, which is typically still a warmer wind as a general rule, then a northwesterly wind this afternoon, and that will usher in the cooler air that will eventually take us into the upcoming weekend. But I will tell you, this is not the coldest of the air. Remember, there is two fronts that will be moving through the area. The first front will move through here late today into tonight. Sunshine ahead of it, seasonably mild air to finish out this work week. The secondary front that will move through here, that's the Arctic front that will swing through here late Saturday into Sunday, yielding a brief yet very significant surge of Arctic air here across the Mid-South. Wind chills by the time we wake up early on Sunday morning could be in the single digits. So we'll go from near 60 degrees here today to near 50 degrees coming up on Saturday, down to 28. Now, the official high on Sunday will likely occur sometime around midnight. It'll probably be closer to freezing. That coupled with a very strong north wind blowing in here about 15, 20 miles per hour throughout the day will make it feel much, much colder. So I encourage you to take the time now or tomorrow to get things kind of lined out and ready for the cold that will be moving into the area. Yes, it is brief. We'll add 10 degrees for a high going into your Monday, add an additional 10 going into Tuesday, and probably add an additional 10 to that to get into Wednesday. So we'll rebound pretty quickly over a 3-day period back to about 30 degrees. But of course, this source region coming directly out of Canada and the Arctic, and that cold air mass is going to be here for at least the early portion of the week. But an Arctic air mass, to say the least, and some of this cold air that we're talking about here is probably some of the coldest air that we've seen thus far this season. We know that for certain. What will be the question will be how cold will it be looking back to the winter season of 24 to 25, so earlier this year. And I think that we'll be at least rivaling some of those numbers as well. So when we look at the lows, when you wake up early Monday morning, getting the kids to the bus stop and yourself off to work, that first day of the week and the last week for many before the Christmas holiday break, look at it, 14 to 18 degrees here across the Mid-South to start off early Monday morning. Hard freeze for everybody here across the Mid-South. So a reminder again, go ahead and take the time now. Check in on your people. Just say, hey, do you have blankets? Do you have good heating elements? Are you good to go? Your pets, make sure that they have warm shelter or bring them inside or plan to bring them inside. Cover up your outdoor pipes and spigots. Get that little styrofoam thing, cover it up, your spigots as we head through the next couple of days. Clear out your furnaces and space heaters. Make sure that the space heaters have space. Make sure that everything's kind of cleared out, dust and lint and things like that get caught up in that, and that could catch fire. As far as dripping your indoor and out faucets and opening up at the cabinets, you want to have some airflow going underneath those cabinets, especially if you have poor insulation in your home or apartment. So just a couple of tips to get you into this holiday, this season of cold, but it will be a brief season of cold. Let's say it like that here as we head through the next few days. 60, the high temperature today here across across the Mid-South, the Porter Leith Toy Truck Drive. That, again, happening today here at 1960 Union. Hopefully you can come out and drop off a toy for a child who is in need here this holiday season, to have a joyous holiday season. It will be a beautiful day today. They'll be outside at 1960 Union between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. today. And then on Saturday between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. you can drop off your toys, or you can give us a monetary donation. We have a QR code that you can scan on actionnews5.com. Let's go into your Saturday. Also happening tomorrow on top of the Porter Leith Toy Truck Drive is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl All-Star High School football game. That's happening over at MUS. Great weather for it. You know, a couple of years ago we had severe weather happening right in the core of that game. Not the case here this year. Partly cloudy skies. Cool with temperatures in the 50s to upper 40s. Will ease down by the end of the game into the mid 40s. And that gives you some indication that the coldest of the air will not be here Saturday. It will eventually move in here Saturday night into Sunday. So when you wake up early on Sunday morning, feels like temperatures. These are wind chills that will be in single digits, in some spots closer to 0 up along the Tennessee and Kentucky border to start off early Sunday morning. Most spots, again, anywhere from about 4 or 5 degrees to about 15 to 16 degrees starting off Sunday, and throughout the majority of the day it will be very gusty. Every time you get that little push of cold air into your area, you're going to feel that biting cold kind of cut right through you, and that will even take us into the overnight period of your Sunday into early Monday. By early Monday morning, we're talking actual air temperatures right around 18 degrees here in the city. Outlying areas will be into the mid-teens, only managing highs in the upper 30s. So again, add 10 from Sunday, add 10 to Tuesday, add 10 for Wednesday, and that will get us up to about 58 coming up on Wednesday. Clouds, a couple showers will be mixed in there. A little better chance may sneak in here on Thursday with the front that will come swinging through here Thursday into Friday. They'll knock the numbers back a couple of notches. I will give you a first alert, though, as we head towards the upcoming Christmas holiday week. This is the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. So this is, kind of starting with the end of our 10-day forecast and leading up into Christmas, above average temperatures and likely a high chance of above average temperatures. And typically this time of the year, when you have above average temperatures, something's got to give at some point in time. We'll see how that plays out. And when I say give, usually means storms. We'll probably see thunder before we see snow moving through the next 10 days, or maybe even 16 days or so as we get closer to the end of the year of 2025, heading to the beginning of 2026. But I want to give you that first alert of the cold moving into the area for the upcoming weekend, start of next week. But it will not be lasting for very long, and soon enough we'll be on a warmer trend, including, it seems like for now, heading into even Christmas week, just beyond this 10-day forecast.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I want to show you this, a Christmas parade and bazaar happening in North Memphis in the Klondike Smoky City, presenting the annual North Memphis Christmas Parade and Bazaar December 13th with a parade beginning at 10, bazaar beginning at 12 o'clock. Let's bring in someone who is very familiar with this, Randall Garrett, joining us on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Talk more about this event. Tell me about it, Randall. It sounds like a great opportunity for the community.
Yes, this is our third annual North Memphis parade. It's not just for Klondike and Smoky City. It's for all of North Memphis and all of the city for us to come out. It's good family fun. We're going to have bands, antique cars, Mercedes-Benz is in the parade. Major Rest and cheerleaders. It's going to be all types of music, giveaways, and fun. It's going to be for all ages. It's going to be a hoot.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, you know, everyone loves a parade, right? And I mean, this kind of season really gets people in the holiday spirit. Tell me what it's like the last few years you've had it.
Oh, it's been beautiful. We've had the Grizzlies come out and the dancing girls of the Grizzlies. We've had a whole bunch of bands and dancers, and the community's come out. It's been a family fun affair for everybody. The difference this year is we're adding a Christmas bazaar so you can get your last minute Christmas shopping in. We have vendors from our small business incubator that's going to be in there. So we got Flawless Brown, Lim Daddy's Kitchen, Liberty Bell cheesesteaks. This guy's flown out straight from Philly to cook us cheesesteaks. We're going to have Santa Claus there giving pictures and different things of that nature. We're going to be doing giveaways, hot chocolate. We're also going to have care access there to give medical care and healthcare related resources out. We're giving discounts on massages with hands and sensitivity, and we're going to have our natural products and stuff there with Balance LLC, with sea mouse products and juices. So a lot of our incubator is going to be a fun time for everybody in the family and for the whole community to be able to come out.
Okay, and we want to just show everybody once again what's happening on Saturday, December 13th. This parade begins at 10, goes from 10 to 12. The bazaar, as you just mentioned, goes from 12 until 2. And it sounds like the bazaar is something you don't want to miss.
No, it's not. Trust me, you will want. This is not like your regular flea market style community event. These products are very well made. They're from local people out the local community and out throughout the city. They're all local products except for the Philly cheesesteaks. We're flying those in personally from Philly, so we can have the best quality cheesesteak available. And so we really want the community to come out. It's going to be December 13th. Get there early. The parade starts at 10, but you need to get your spot on the street early. So you need to be there early, maybe 9:30, maybe 9. Maybe you need to start waiting at like 5 o'clock in the morning and start waiting in line. So you'll be able to get a good spot to be able to see the four-wheelers that the Shriners is going to have. We're going to have a lot of different giveaways. So make sure that you're there, be there or be square. That's what I always say.
All right. Randall Garrett joining us on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Thank you so much for this. It sounds like a great event for all involved. We appreciate your time on the Digital Desk. Good luck this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
You got it.
Christmas.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. The issue of ADHD is certainly on the minds of a lot of people across the country. It's been in headlines for a long time. Of course, there's always an emphasis on that, the condition, how to treat it, how to prevent it. And joining us on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, we are joined by someone who's done a significant amount of research with regards to ADHD. I'm joined right now by the Dean of the College of Health Sciences at the University of Memphis, Dr. Richard Bloomer. more. He is joining us now to talk a little bit more, do a deep dive into ADHD. Richard, very nice to meet you. First off, tell me about some of the research that you've done regarding this condition. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Andrew. Thanks so much for having me today. We do work primarily with nutritional interventions, both whole food nutrition as well as dietary supplementations, or what we might refer to as nutraceuticals. And we know the power of nutrition and the power of nutraceuticals, and some of those intervention studies actually lend itself to seeing some benefits with individuals diagnosed with ADHD.
So tell me about ADHD in 2025. How prevalent is it? Are more people being diagnosed with it? And what are you seeing from your vantage point?
Yeah, as most individuals know, ADHD is a neurobehavioral disorder characterized by hyperactivity, inattention, and compulsive behavior. Unfortunately, we see a diagnosis rate or a prevalence rate of about 10 to 11% in children in the US aged 3 to 17. And we see more individuals diagnosed who are boys versus girls, higher prevalence in those living in poverty versus those who are not, and about 6% in the adult population. The typical treatment strategies would include medication and behavioral intervention, but what's not often discussed is the role of nutrition and how nutrient intake could really have a significant impact on the symptoms of those suffering with ADHD.
Let's talk more about that aspect, because I understand that perhaps prescription medicine, in your view, may be something that could take a back seat to more of a dietary or nutritional supplementation. Is that right?
Well, I certainly don't want to take the place of a physician that's prescribing medication. Patients always should consult with their healthcare provider on what they should and should not be doing. What we know, based on the scientific evidence, not my opinion, is that nutrient intake, as well as some other lifestyle interventions, can have a significant impact on the symptoms of those dealing with ADHD. First and foremost, we look at maintaining a very regular schedule, going to bed at the same time each night, waking up at the same time each day, obtaining adequate and quality nightly sleep of about 8 or more hours per day, engaging in structured physical activity and regular exercise, and then hopefully adopting a dietary strategy that includes what we might consider to be a very pure or a clean diet. And what the scientific literature indicates is that there's been many studies involving many different dietary approaches, but the one that seems to rise to the top is what we would refer to as an elimination diet. And that particular diet essentially eliminates a lot of the foods that we see so prevalent in our society today. Those would be things such as processed foods, highly processed foods, packaged foods. Sometimes eliminating dairy seems to have an impact. Sometimes for some individuals, eliminating gluten products or grains seems to have an impact, and certainly products that have added sugar. So a purified diet essentially would include lean meats, chicken, turkey, fish, some lean red meat as well, vegetables, fruits, and some legumes and some whole grains as well. That sort of dietary approach we see in the science actually shows to be most effective for individuals that do have ADHD.
Very interesting. I'm very interested in what you're talking about and some of the science and research that you've uncovered. So if someone is watching out there, and we have thousands of people who watch each and every morning, Richard, and they have a family member who has been diagnosed with ADHD, where should they begin? Should they begin this kind of elimination diet and perhaps go all in on a clean diet with, no processed foods, gluten-free, dairy-free? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good approach. Certainly, they do want to have conversations with their physician. We in no way, as a research scientist, want to take the place of a clinician telling individuals to cease medication. That would be very irresponsible for someone to do. But I think talking with a quality a registered licensed dietitian nutritionist to get some insight as to what to do and how to make this happen would be a really good first step. And then adopting a dietary strategy that, yes, indeed, does include a purified approach. Parents that have children with ADHD should not be buying boxed packaged foods on a regular basis. That's a big mistake. I think most people would be well served by essentially eliminating shopping within the aisles of the grocery store and shopping the perimeter of that store. So you're eating foods essentially that if they sat on a shelf for days, they would rot. So we're looking at good quality produce, good quality whole meats, potentially some other products that could be adjuncts to those, such as beans, legumes, nuts, and seeds. But that sort of approach does seem to work well. And then we can look at some dietary supplements that may complement some of the things that people potentially could be missing. And there are many, including things such as fish oil, vitamin D3, a good multivitamin mineral, zinc, iron. Even saffron has been used in combination with some of the medication treatments for ADHD with some effect. So there certainly are lifestyle approaches I think that people should absolutely adopt if they're really looking for the best benefit.
I find this all very fascinating, Richard. Thank you so much for this. I have a family member and actually multiple family members that have been diagnosed with ADHD. But you know, this diet that you're talking about, it actually sounds like a diet we should all take in some form or fashion. Very healthy, very clean, something that's not processed, and something that I think would have multiple benefits no matter who you are, whether you're diagnosed or not diagnosed.
You're absolutely right. It's the diet that I try to adopt on a very regular basis and have done so for many years. Of course, I like some carbohydrate as well in the form of rice and pasta, but clearly from a metabolic or a cardiometabolic perspective, if our population would adopt a diet similar to what I'm describing here, the healthcare economy would be in much better condition and people would feel and perform much better. So if we can get that message across, Andrew, I think we're doing something really good.
Agreed, for sure. Is there a place online, perhaps, Richard, where we can find some of this research that you just talked about? It's very valuable.
There is. I would strongly recommend, rather than people doing Google searches and reading various authors, to go directly to the source data. And that could be found on a website called PubMed, P-U-B-M-E-D, PubMed. People can just do a search for that. And it's a national database, and many, not all, but many scientific studies that have been published will be available there. Sometimes they could read the full text article. Sometimes they'll just have access to the abstract, but they will at least be able to see, is this valuable for me to consider? And they would simply type in something along the lines of ADHD and elimination diet, or few foods diet, or something along those lines. And they'll be able to see the scientific studies that are specific to that topic.
Dr. Richard Bloomer, Dean of the College of Health Sciences at the University of Memphis, I really appreciate your conversation and the research for this topic. Thank you so much for coming on the Action News 5 Digital Desk and talking about a very important issue that is so prevalent to so many families out there. We appreciate your time and invite you to come on anytime. Thank you. for both of you joining us here on the Digital Desk. Jacob, I want to begin with you. Tell us about your mental journey. Good morning.
Good morning. You know, my mental journey really is it's long. It's years. It's over 14 years spent hanging out the side of a Black Hawk helicopter in austere places all over the world, and seeing and experiencing things that most of us never even dream of. And then coming home, and you come home, and those experiences become memories, become stories that come home with you. And so trying to find my place in the world here as a dad, as a husband, as a community member is difficult when you're still kind of holding on to or carrying those memories that come with you. And so it's been so important for me on this journey that people have found me, friends that have kind of carried me through those moments and given me the opportunity to carry them, and just to begin to build a life of connection over this journey.
Well, first off, I appreciate everything that you and your family have done for this country, what you've sacrificed, because there's so many veterans that sacrifice so much to defend what this country stands for overseas. How important was human connection to your overall recovery, Jacob?
Human connection for me, and like for so many other veterans, is absolutely vital. There has to be somebody that tells you when the demons are lying, as I sometimes say. You have to have people around you that can remind you of your worth, remind you that you're important, that you still have a mission, that there's still more for you to do. And so for me, having those brothers and sisters nearby and having those check-ins has just been absolutely vital. And then learning that I can be the one checking on them as well.
Lindsay, I want to thank you, Jacob. Lindsay, I want to talk with you. And listen, Wounded Warrior Project, it is such an amazing organization. And thank you for all that you do for all the veterans out there. You work specifically in the mental and brain health services. Tell me, when it comes to the biggest challenges that veterans face, what are some of those big challenges out there?
Yeah, great question. So if you take when somebody's transitioning back into civilian life and you look at some of those challenges, you have a situation where somebody was in a very structured environment. They had a support system built in of folks that were like-minded, that they can relate to and are doing the same things. And they had a clear sense of mission and purpose. And then that disappears. They then start to transition out. They lose that sense of purpose. They lose that sense of mission while they're trying to navigate, where are my benefits? What is my family dynamics, my financial situation? What's going to be my next job? And that can be a very overwhelming time for a veteran. And they may also be experiencing, symptoms of PTSD on top of that. And so having connection during that time is going to be so critical. Having that support system of like-minded individuals that might be going through it with you, or that have already went through it and can help shepherd, or as Jake said, be the one carrying you. You mentioned our survey. Our survey showed that for wounded warriors who had listed isolation or that lack of connection as a symptom that they were experiencing, they were 3 times more likely to have had suicidal thoughts in the past 12 months. So connection is key.
No question about it. Jake, I really appreciate you opening up, telling your story to help others. Lindsay, quickly, where can, if perhaps one of our viewers has a family member who's struggling right now, where can they go for help?
I think it's great that you mentioned family member, right? You do not have to be a mental health expert to help somebody who's struggling or to help yourself if you're struggling. I'd recommend going to woundedwarriorproject.org. We're there to support. We stand by ready to connect you to programs, connect you to services, and help build that foundation of connection.
All right, Jacob and Lindsay, we appreciate your time here on the Digital Desk. God bless you both, and thank you for your time. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I want to show you this. This is the cover of La Prensa Latina on newsstands now. It is about Our Lady of Guadalupe, faith, tradition, and hope in Memphis's Hispanic community. That is on newsstands right now. Also, you can find it at laprensalatina.com. Let's bring in your friend and mine, Jairo Aguirre, joining us as he always does every Friday on the Digital Desk. Jairo, buenos dias, ¿qué tal? How are you?
Yes, I'm good. I'm happy to be here with you and share what we have at La Prensa for you guys. As you can see on the front cover, we have Our Lady of Guadalupe, and it's been since 1531, since she appeared to Juan Diego, that the tradition has stayed stronger. And of course, we talk about devotion, right? And the devotion of our Latino people, especially our Mexican people, that this is where this virgin actually appeared to Juan Diego in Mexico. Of course, there's actually different also like we're talking to our editor. There's also another version of Chinita that's for Venezuela, but this has been one of the strongest traditions here in Memphis because, of course, of our Mexican populations, the biggest. And December 12th is when we do all the celebrations and across all churches, so you're able to experience also not just the religious part, but also what comes after that, which is the good food, the congregation between the people, all the different things that you can experience, the beverages, the celebrations. There's, the Aztec dancers, they usually do celebrations and traditional dances all across different churches in Memphis. So if you're around a Catholic church this weekend, it'd be a good time to show up. You're going to get a chance to see what it is to celebrate the Virgen Maria, to have some food, some hot beverages out there, and just overall have a good experience with your family. So I know our Latino communities had some challenges lately, and that's one of the concerns with going out to open spaces and everything. But of course, something of this magnitude has always push people to move forward through those things.
I love those kind of traditions, Jairo. I think they're fantastic. I think that everybody should be a part of something like that, just to take part in various traditions. I love it, and I'm so glad that's on your cover on newsstands now. I want to show it once again for our audience here, and it is something that is happening today, every December 12th. So I appreciate it. Of course, you could read much more about this at laprensalatina.com as well. The second one has to deal with something else that's very seasonal this time of year. The Nutcracker back at the Orpheum Ballet Memphis, bringing it back. Tell me more, Jairo.
Yeah, so speaking of traditions, right? This is a traditional thing here in the U.S. that we can experience, and we want to let our Latino community know that at the Orpheum, they have one of the best, first of all, one of the best Orpheum theaters theaters you can have. The Nutcracker, which you can see the story of Clara go through the whole routine of where she falls asleep, goes through this whole Nutcracker situation, and fights off all these characters with her Nutcracker, and it's a beautiful thing. And we're gonna experience that with the Memphis Symphony Orchestra. And so that just adds another layer of musical elements. So visually, you're there, and you can hear it, you can experience it. It's an overall experience for sure to see. That's going to be December 12th through the 14th at the Orpheum Theater. Right now, it's Nutcracker season all over the place. I know my daughter's has the Nutcracker. She's part of a Nutcracker with the at BPAC at the Bartlett Performing Arts Center this weekend too. So there's Nutcracker everywhere. And probably do a selfish shout out, just to let people know that there's also a Nutcracker at BPAC.
That's right. It is Nutcracker season, no question about it, Jairo. Certainly something that is, when I think of the holidays, I think of a number of different things, and the Nutcracker certainly is a part of that. Finally, we are talking sports here, Jairo, and Charles Huff, he's a big name that has been in the news a lot over the past week or so. Now the new head coach of your Memphis Tigers, and it's a bright spot. He's got quite the resume, doesn't he?
He does. He does. He's our 26th head coach. He comes as a strong recruiter. I mean, he's made a transformation to Southern Miss to take him from 1-11 to 7-5, and so we expect to see big things. And I know, of course, the Tigers, like he said in one of those quotes, we're apex predators, and so it's time for the Memphis Tigers to be the top of the food chain. So we expect to see a big transformation, of course, and recover some of this competitive edge that the Memphis Tigers has. And so I look forward to seeing it in next games, December 19th, and I think with North Carolina. So look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it's going to be with the interim coach, Reggie Howard, but it's the last time we'll see this version of the Memphis Tigers this season before Charles Huff gets going next season. But I think there's a lot of excitement around the program, and certainly between you and me, I think there's a lot of excitement between us too to go check out a game. So I'm ready for it as well. Just a good hire in my view, certainly.
Yeah. So, it's one of those things. So, if he's one of the talents as a good coach is also always to be a good recruiter. So, hopefully we can get that here in Memphis.
I agree. Okay, once again, we want to show you the cover of the latest edition at La Prensa Latina there. Our Lady of Guadalupe, faith, tradition, hope in Memphis's Hispanic community, on newsstands now, La Prensa Latina, and you can go online, laprensalatina.com. Final thoughts, Jairo?
I want to show my appreciation to you guys. It's getting closer to Christmas, and hopefully everybody does safe shopping out there, to my community to continue being safe out there. I want to invite everybody to visit laprensalatina.com, where we can have all the recent updated information on our website at laprensalatina.com, our social media at La Prensa Latina Media. You can always find our newspapers at a local stand near you. We have a distribution on our website where you can find the newspaper, but you can always, one of the strongest points where we have them are at the farmers markets, and they go fast too. We leave probably hundreds and if not thousands across the farmers and the Winchesters, the Cordova. So make sure you pick one of those up. We also at the Cash Savers in Midtown. So kind of give you like three points across Memphis.
I love it. I love it. And Jairo, in the new year, we got to get together and visit some various establishments there and check out the food and the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Right now is when the food changes for the Mexicans. Like it's when they start bringing in this different types of foods that you normally don't see throughout the rest of the year. So right now would be the good time because you have the tamales. Tamales, of course, you see them all the time, but right now is where you actually can get some good tamales, some good homemade tamales. You have all these different soups too, all these different other desserts and all sorts of things. So it's right now's the time, Andrew.
We need to get it on the calendar, Jairo. I appreciate you as always, and I look forward to it. And take care of yourself, and you and your family. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego. Mi amigo. That's what I'm talking about. Jairo Aguirre on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Always a great time talking with him. And look at that picture. Man, oh man, is it gorgeous, huh? Look at that. That is beautiful downtown. It is going to be a great, great day ahead. Let's talk about your forecast in 1 minute. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Shannon Miller is one of the most decorated gymnasts in Olympic history, a 7-time gold medalist for the Olympics, and so many people remember her competing on that international stage. She inspired so many young athletes of a new generation, but at age 33, she had a new challenge. In fact, probably her toughest routine yet, and that was battling ovarian cancer. Joining me on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I have the pleasure to bring in Shannon Miller and also Dr. David O'Malley. He is a gynecologic oncologist with Ohio State University's Comprehensive Cancer Center, joining us on the Digital Desk. And Shannon, let me start with you. I appreciate you coming on to talk about a very personal battle with ovarian cancer. So many people remember you as shining brightly on the international stage. Take us through the cancer diagnosis and the kind of strength and resiliency you needed in order to combat and overcome the cancer. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on. The Olympic journey has been amazing, but I would say the cancer fight has been the toughest thing I've ever had to do. I was diagnosed in early 2011 when I woke up from surgery to find out that I had a rare form of ovarian cancer, then went through chemotherapy, and really became an advocate for others in the cancer community, knowing that I didn't necessarily know what questions to ask. I completely missed the signs and symptoms of ovarian cancer. And so I wanted to be able to use my voice to help others. And you talk about strength, and I think talking with survivors, we realize that you never know how strong you can be until you just have to. It's that inner strength that helps you take that next forward step.
Tell me about that. So, you overcome ovarian cancer. What do you want women to know about their own health? Because based upon everything I've seen, all the research suggests the earlier you can find cancer, if it's in fact there, it's diagnosed, the better it is.
Absolutely. Early detection saves lives, leads to better outcomes. And what I want women to know is that there is no routine test for ovarian cancer. We have to listen to our bodies and speak up when something doesn't feel right, advocate for ourselves. It's one of the reasons why we're here in partnership with AbbVie to encourage women with ovarian cancer to ask about all of the tools in the tool chest, including biomarker testing, which is so important to unlocking this personalized care for specific types of ovarian cancer. And it's just important to know the information so that you can go in and ask those questions.
Thank you, Shannon. Dr. O'Malley, over to you. I want to talk to you about biomarker testing. I understand it's so important for patients with ovarian cancer. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, there's lots of different biomarkers. There's the gene biomarkers, and that's in all of our cells, that's in all of our tissue. We have to test those. But now what we also test is the tissue, is the cancer, those cells, looking for markers on those cells. And by identifying those unique biomarkers, we're able to then target or personalize the therapy for patients with cancer, specifically ovarian cancer in this instance.
Now, I understand that ovarian cancer is one of the deadliest forms of gynecologic cancer. Tell me specifically on how women are able to get biomarker testing.
I think, unfortunately, you really nailed it in that we have the deadliest GYN cancer. And unfortunately, most patients are diagnosed with advanced stages. And even though we're doing a much better job of curing people, still 70% of patients recur. So what's the best way? Talk to your healthcare provider. Talk to the whole healthcare team. There are now ways that we can send your tissue out and as well as your blood or saliva to get tested so they can send it out. Many of our centers are actually doing these tests in-house now. So if you have ovarian cancer or a family member has ovarian cancer, make sure you're asking your healthcare provider, have I had these biomarkers? And if not, I want to get them done.
David, thank you. Shannon, final question to you. What message do you have for women perhaps going through a diagnosis like ovarian cancer or any other type of cancer or, struggle, a significant struggle, a challenge? What kind of message do you have there for them, Shannon?
Well, thank you. It's such a great question. I want anyone going through a challenge, whether it's a cancer diagnosis or anything else, know that you do not need to go through this fight alone. There's always a team and a community there ready to support you. So find that team, ask questions, and know that there is strength in seeking that support. And then if you are an ovarian cancer survivor and you want more information about biomarker testing, you can visit biomarkerboost.com.
Okay, Shannon Miller, David O'Malley, we really appreciate you joining us on the Digital Desk. Shannon, thanks for opening up to help others out there, perhaps going through their own struggles, their own challenges on this journey. And David, great information as well. We appreciate you both coming on the Digital Desk. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk here on a lovely Friday, the finally Friday edition of the weather forecast. Temperatures today will be a good bit milder than where we were even yesterday, and yesterday wasn't half bad. Of course, we had a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Today, we'll still have a few passing clouds, but still some sunshine all throughout the day. Notice the wind direction, though. That's going to be critical because the winds will start off southwesterly, a warmer wind, westerly by mid to late morning, which is typically still a warmer wind as a general rule, then a northwesterly wind this afternoon, and that will usher in the cooler air that will eventually take us into the upcoming weekend. But I will tell you, this is not the coldest of the air. Remember, there is two fronts that will be moving through the area. The first front will move through here late today into tonight. Sunshine ahead of it, seasonably mild air to finish out this work week. The secondary front that will move through here, that's the Arctic front that will swing through here late Saturday into Sunday, yielding a brief yet very significant surge of Arctic air here across the Mid-South. Wind chills by the time we wake up early on Sunday morning could be in the single digits. So we'll go from near 60 degrees here today to near 50 degrees coming up on Saturday, down to 28. Now, the official high on Sunday will likely occur sometime around midnight. It'll probably be closer to freezing. That coupled with a very strong north wind blowing in here about 15, 20 miles per hour throughout the day will make it feel much, much colder. So I encourage you to take the time now or tomorrow to get things kind of lined out and ready for the cold that will be moving into the area. Yes, it is brief. We'll add 10 degrees for a high going into your Monday, add an additional 10 going into Tuesday, and probably add an additional 10 to that to get into Wednesday. So we'll rebound pretty quickly over a 3-day period back to about 30 degrees. But of course, this source region coming directly out of Canada and the Arctic, and that cold air mass is going to be here for at least the early portion of the week, but an Arctic air mass to say the least. And some of this cold air that we're talking about here is probably some of the coldest air that we've seen thus far this season. We know that for certain. What will be the question will be how cold will it be looking back to the winter season of 24 to 25, so earlier this year. And I think that we'll be at least rivaling some of those numbers as well. So when we look at the lows, when you wake up early Monday morning, getting the kids to the bus stop and yourself off to work, that first day of the week and the last week for many before the Christmas holiday break, look at it. 14 to 18 degrees here across the Mid-South to start off early Monday morning. Hard freeze for everybody here across the Mid-South. So a reminder again, go ahead and take the time now. Check in on your people. Just say, hey, do you have blankets? Do you have good heating elements? Are you good to go? Your pets, make sure that they have warm shelter or bring them inside or plan to bring them inside. Cover up your outdoor pipes and spigots. Get that little styrofoam thing, cover it up, your spigots as we head through the next couple of days. Clear out your furnaces and space heaters. Make sure that the space heaters have space. Make sure that everything's kind of cleared out, dust and lint and things like that get caught up in that, and that could catch fire. As far as dripping your indoor and out faucets and opening up at the cabinets, you want to have some airflow going underneath those cabinets, especially if you have poor insulation in your home or apartment. So just a couple of tips to get you into this holiday, this season of cold, but it will be a brief season of cold. Let's say it like that here as we head through the next few days. 60 the high temperature today here across the Mid-South, the Porter Lee Toy Truck Drive. That again happening today here at 1960 Union. Hopefully you can come out and drop off a toy for a child who is in need here this holiday season, to have a joyous holiday season. It will be a beautiful day today. They'll be outside at 1960 Union between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. today. And then on Saturday between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. you can drop off your toys, or you can give us a monetary donation. We have a QR code that you can scan on actionnews5.com. Let's go into your Saturday. Also happening tomorrow on top of the Porter Leith Toy Truck Drive is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl All-Star High School football game. That's happening over at MUS. Great weather for it. You know, a couple of years ago we had severe weather happening right in the core of that game. Not the case here this year. Partly cloudy skies. Cool with temperatures in the 50s to upper 40s. Will ease down by the end of the game into the mid 40s. And that gives you some indication that the coldest of the air will not be here Saturday. It will eventually move in here Saturday night into Sunday. So when you wake up early on Sunday morning, feels like temperatures. These are wind chills that will be in single digits, in some spots closer to 0 up along the Tennessee and Kentucky border to start off early Sunday morning. Most spots, again, anywhere from about 4 or 5 degrees to about 15 to 16 degrees starting off Sunday, and throughout the majority of the day it will be very gusty. Every time you get that little push of cold air into your area, you're going to feel that biting cold kind of cut right through you, and that will even take us into the overnight period of your Sunday into early Monday. By early Monday morning, we're talking actual air temperatures right around 18 degrees here in the city. Outlying areas will be into the mid-teens, only managing highs in the upper 30s. So again, add 10 from Sunday, add 10 to Tuesday, add 10 for Wednesday, and that will get us up to about 58 coming up on Wednesday. Clouds, a couple showers will be mixed in there. A little better chance may sneak in here on Thursday with the front that will come swinging through here Thursday into Friday. They'll knock the numbers back a couple of notches. I will give you a first alert, though, as we head towards the upcoming Christmas holiday week. This is the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. So this is, kind of starting with the end of our 10-day forecast and leading up into Christmas, above average temperatures and likely a high chance of above average temperatures. And typically this time of the year when you have above average temperatures, something's got to give at some point in time. We'll see how that plays out. And when I say give, usually means storms. We'll probably see thunder before we see snow moving through the next 10 days or maybe even 16 days or so as we get closer to the end of the year of 2025 heading to the beginning of 2026. But I want to give you that first alert of the cold moving into the area for the upcoming weekend, start of next week. But it will not be lasting for very long, and soon enough we'll be on a warmer trend, including, it seems like for now, heading into even Christmas week just beyond this 10-day forecast.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Have you ever heard of Banana Ball? I had to look this up. Banana Ball is on a world tour in 2026, next month, and they are going everywhere, including Memphis. So there is going to be some 3.2 million fans that are going to check out Banana Ball in 2026. They're going into 75 different stadiums, 45 states, 71 cities, and one of those cities is Memphis. So I had to Google it. I had to do my own search. It is incredible. Let me show you some of this video that is amazing, okay? And it is coming to Memphis next year. There's all kinds of things all kinds of tricks, stuff that's never been done before. And I'm joined on the Action News 5 Digital Desk by one of the players, Clark Gilmore, joining me now to talk more about Banana Ball, what it is, and what the fans can expect when it comes to Memphis. Clark, tell me what's going on with Banana Ball and the craze that is affecting everyone who sees it. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. As you said, we have 3.2 million people that we're going to affect in person in the 2026 Banana Ball Tour. We've got 6 new teams. I'm a member of the newest one, the Indianapolis Clowns, and we're going to get to play in, as you said, 45 states. But really, this is the greatest show in sports. Fans get to experience the game like you never have before, and when you come to the ballpark, you never know what you're going to get.
So we're looking at some video right now. It looks very intense. It looks high energy, trick shots. But there's actually a baseball game going on, right? Explain it to us in layman's terms.
There sure are. We've got players with the greatest baseball skills in the world. We have College World Series champions. We have former first-round draft picks. And we also have a former World Series champion in my teammate, Jackie Bradley Jr., who won a World Series with the Boston Red Sox and is now a member of the Indianapolis Clowns. But yeah, this is baseball without the boring stuff. There's no bunting, there's no walks, and the fans get to participate in a way they can't in any other sport, where if they catch a foul ball, it counts. The batter's out. So the fans get to have this impact that you can't in any other place in the world.
That sounds amazing, Clark. I love it. Tell me the origins. How did this come about?
Well, our fearless leader, Jesse Cole, got things started when he took over as the Savannah Bananas president for the Coastal Plains Collegiate Baseball League. But then he noticed that, people weren't coming to games. People weren't staying the entire length. Baseball's a long game. I've played it for a long time. And when he realized that, he felt like he needed to keep the fans in their seats. And so with the birth of Fans First Entertainment, he put that focus on the fans. What do fans want to see? Well, they want to be at the ballpark for a specific amount of time. So let's put a 2-hour time limit on the game. What do fans want to do? They want to bring their glove to the field and have the ability to make an impact on the real game. And now they can. With a foul ball, they can make that play. So really, it was putting the fans first and getting to this point now where we're impacting over 3 million people in person next year.
That sounds awesome. I don't know when it's going to be here in Memphis. Perhaps you do. But so this all stems from the Savannah Bananas?
Absolutely. The Bananas were the first team, and they ended up taking on the Party Animals, who we will be playing March 7th and 8th here in Memphis at AutoZone Park, the 2025 Tour Champion Party Animals, that is. But everything started with the Bananas and then the Party Animals, and we expanded to 4 teams last year. And there was a draft in November to add 2 additional teams, the Loco Beach Coconuts and my team, the Indianapolis Clowns. And now we have those 6 teams that make up the Banana Ball Championship League, where each team will be playing 60 games across the 2026 World Tour.
That sounds fantastic. So if someone's watching this, and we have thousands of people who watch each and every morning, Clark, if someone's watching this and they want to get tickets, how should they prepare for this game?
Well, the best way to prepare to get tickets is the wait list is long, but head over to bananaball.com and that will tell you all the information you need on tickets. But let me tell you this, if you get the chance to go to a Banana Ball game, you got to go. I got to experience it as a fan myself before entering the organization, and it was without a doubt the most fun I ever had at a sporting event. I got to go on the field. I got to be a part of the in-game entertainment. I got to watch fans make plays in the stands. It really is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I certainly couldn't recommend it more.
That sounds fantastic. I'll give you the last word, Clark. Anything else you want to mention? You're, by the way, an accomplished baseball player as well, a pitcher, my understanding, right?
Absolutely, yeah. If you'd like to see a behind-the-back pitch, a guy throw on stilts, someone hit a baseball, the hardest thing to do in sports, off of a unicycle, you're going to see those types of things at a banana ball game. And we'd love to see you guys out at AutoZone Park March 7th and 8th to take on the Party Animals.
Fantastic. Wow. Clark Gilmore really selling it for us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I appreciate your time, Clark. This is going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it myself. Coming up in March at AutoZone Park with Banana Ball 2026. Clark Gilmore, really appreciate your time on the Digital Desk. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Andrew.
Samantha, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we got about 45 seconds until we come to you. Do me a favor and try and be a little bit more centered in the camera shot. That would be great.
Yes. Sure
Awesome.
can.
Awesome. Perfect. We'll talk to you in a second, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Are you a fitness trainer, personal trainer, or studio leader? Does it matter?
I think I'm all of them.
Okay,
you
good.
You could say studio leader and dynamic personal trainer. Those
And
two
just
will
an
be fine.
all-around great gal, right?
I guess so. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Well, one of the biggest goals of the new year for so many of us is to have better fitness, better health, right? That's what so many people want in the new year. And on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, we have right now a local fitness trainer, a personal trainer, a fitness guru, a studio leader at Lifetime Fitness in Collierville, Samantha Pennington, joining us on the Digital Desk to talk about some of those new trends in fitness as we approach 2026. Samantha, where should we start when it comes to some of the new trends that you are seeing in the world of fitness? Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, so I'm partaking in a lot of those trends, I feel like right now. Right now, I see a lot of run clubs, so everyone's getting into the running, as well as Pilates and strength training. So I see those being our top fitness trends for 2025 and also moving into 2026.
So tell me about, because our audience they probably have heard about Pilates. What is that exactly?
So Pilates, we offer here at Lifetime, we have our Reformers Pilates, which you're using a machine. And then we also provide mat Pilates. Here at Lifetime, we offer both, and we're actually the largest provider in the States. Lifetime is. So what we offer here is mat Pilates. You work on those smaller muscle groups, your ankles, your calves, you've got the shoulders, the core as well. We have heated options and we have non-heated options. Basically working for stability, balance, that's what we can find in Pilates. But the Reformer can go either way. You're on a machine, so it can be for the older demographic if they need more assistance in gaining connection in those little muscle groups, whether it's the core or the ankles, to help prevent any falling or anything like that. And then you have the other side where people are saying the hot moms or the younger kids are getting into the heated classes because it's an all-around great conditioning workout as well as core strengthening.
So we know, Samantha, that technology and AI is changing almost everything that we do. In the world of fitness, where are you seeing technology or AI influencing different things as we approach 2026?
Yeah, I think it's a positive and a negative, you could say, for us fitness professionals. We see the positive of it helps us do our job a little bit more. And I also see as a positive for others that aren't trainers or aren't have that certification in anatomy and things like that. Because, and I will say, I've used it myself a couple times, and so has my family. But if you're looking to really jumpstart your fitness goals, or maybe you're trying to get into running, it's a great tool to just automatically get a great plan for you. That's a good base. But the con I see is, as fitness professionals, well, here at Lifetime, we're called dynamic personal trainers. So that word dynamic, we're able to be one-on-one with you. We're able to see things you may not feel in your body while doing a squat or while you're running. So we can see AI being a positive way to get everyone in the world moving and living a healthy way of life and jump-starting that. But I also see it as a negative, because us as trainers truly believe that hands-on work can add value to your fitness journey. And I will say myself, as a trainer, I do have a trainer as well to keep me accountable, to see things in my body I'm not able to feel or see on my own. So it's great to use AI for different things. Absolutely.
That's good to hear, and it's always something that people are concerned about. But you know, you've been in this world for a while now, and it feels like every time the new year happens, the gym is packed. Tons of people working on their fitness goals. But then by about February, March, the place is empty because people just, they stop going. How do we make sure we get over that hump and we continue to push on throughout the year, so it's not just a few weeks or a few months in the gym?
Yeah, so it's actually funny you say that. There's an actual day that is National Ditch Your Resolutions Day. So we always joke around that in our group fitness classes, but one of the main things I feel like to really push through those New Year's resolutions and those goals you have in mind is Lifetime here, we offer as much help and accountability as you can think of. As a new member, you get a goal setting session. So kicking off the new year with meeting with a personal trainer for a complimentary goal setting session to talk about your nutrition, your daily habits. We do year round almost 3 to 4 habit training workouts throughout Lifetime. So also, our group fitness classes, we have about 130 classes a week. They go from Pilates, strength training, cardio. And when I think you get into those group fitness, social, community vibe classes, it's a lot easier to hold on to your fitness goals that you set in the new year. But good thing is you don't always have to set your goals in the new year. People just tend to do that because it's a great time to have a fresh start. But here at Lifetime, we encourage a healthy way of life all the time. And so we try and implement that in everything we do in every part of our departments.
I could see how those group classes are so much a part of, and they're very popular, so much a part of the routine. Is that what's called social fitness? I understand social fitness is kind of it's growing in popularity.
Yeah. You see more this year anyway. I've seen on social media more kids are going to run clubs, which we hosted a run club this year in Joy of St. Jude marathon weekend. Actually ran myself, and I can say that getting up on a Saturday to run those long miles that you're preparing for that half marathon, it's way more fun with a group of people, as well as, our group fitness classes. Sometimes they can come as a club, I guess you could say. We have DJs comes to our classes sometimes. So the social fitness can really be a motivator in having accountability and friends. And honestly, a healthy way of life should be something that is fun. We should never be dreading coming to the gym. It's a privilege, whether that looks like lifting weights on the fitness floor or getting into a group fitness class where you're listening to wonderful music. You've got great entertainment from our performers here. It's just an all around great vibe. And I think that's where fitness falls short is we think of it as I have to do this, but we get to move our bodies and we can do it in so many fun ways.
Samantha, this has been great, a great discussion. One thing, there are so many different pitfalls. Can you really just help us with maybe the biggest obstacle that people have to overcome in the new year when it comes to fitness, or the biggest obstacles you see people dealing with that a lot of times they can't overcome if they're new to fitness and healthy lifestyles?
So I think one major thing, and I get this a lot as I try and drive more members into my classes, or just in general, getting people to come to classes, is they feel like they have to be at a certain point in their fitness journey to be successful. And the best part about fitness is if you're working with a dynamic personal trainer or you're attending a class or whatever it might be, we want to meet you where you're at, basically. I don't want everyone to think that you have to be in a certain weight or certain, year of working out, but just being who you are, come in, let us help you get to where you want to be and get over the fact of you have to be somewhere certain to get started in any type of fitness journey. We meet you where you're at. So that's one thing I would 100% love to plug is just be confident and come in and let's just get some help, right? So yeah.
Samantha Pennington, Lifetime Fitness in Collierville, joining us on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Thank you so much for the info. Great discussion, great dialogue, and we look forward to the next time you can come on the Digital Desk. Samantha, thank you.
Yeah,
Happy holidays.
thank you, Andrew. See you in the club.
Okay, sounds good. Another live look from our High Five camera as we go to break on this beautiful Friday. Check it out. It is gorgeous outside. 53 degrees, 10:15. We're back in 1 minute on Action News 5's Digital Desk. Got to be kidding me. She looks evil. I shouldn't say that. That's not nice.
Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk here on a lovely Friday, the finally Friday edition of the weather forecast. Temperatures today will be a good bit milder than where we were even yesterday, and yesterday wasn't half bad. Of course, we had a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Today, we'll still have a few passing clouds, but still some sunshine all throughout the day. Notice the wind direction, though. That's going to be critical because the winds will start off southwesterly, a warmer wind, westerly by mid to late morning, which is typically still a warmer wind as a general rule, then a northwesterly wind this afternoon, and that will usher in the cooler air that will eventually take us into the upcoming weekend. But I will tell you, this is not the coldest of the air. Remember, there is two fronts that will be moving through the area. The first front will move through here late today into tonight. Sunshine ahead of it, seasonably mild air to finish out this work week. The secondary front that will move through here, that's the Arctic front that will swing through here late Saturday into Sunday, yielding a brief yet very significant surge of Arctic air here across the Mid-South. Wind chills by the time we wake up early on Sunday morning could be in the single digits. So we'll go from near 60 degrees here today to near 50 degrees coming up on Saturday, down to 28. Now, the official high on Sunday will likely occur sometime around midnight. It'll probably be closer to freezing. That, coupled with a very strong north wind blowing in here about 15, 20 miles per hour throughout the day, will make it feel much, much colder. So I encourage you to take the time now or tomorrow to get things kind of lined out and ready for the cold that will be moving into the area. Yes, it is brief. We'll add 10 degrees for a high going into your Monday, add an additional 10 going into Tuesday, and probably add an additional 10 to that to get into Wednesday. So we'll rebound pretty quickly over a 3-day period back to about 30 degrees. But of course, this source region coming directly out of Canada and the Arctic, and that cold air mass is going to be here for at least the early portion of the week. But an Arctic air mass, to say the least. And some of this cold air that we're talking about here is probably some of the coldest air that we've seen thus far this season. We know that for certain. What will be the question will be, how cold will it be looking back to the winter season of 24 to 25, so earlier this year. And I think that we'll be at least rivaling some of those numbers as well. So when we look at the lows, when you wake up early Monday morning, getting the kids to the bus stop and yourself off to work, that first day of the week and the last week for many before the Christmas holiday break, look at it. 14 to 18 degrees here across the Mid-South to start off early Monday morning. Hard freeze for everybody here across the Mid-South. So a reminder again, go ahead and take the time now. Check in on your people. Just say, hey, do you have blankets? Do you have good heating elements? Are you good to go? Your pets, make sure that they have warm shelter or bring them inside or plan to bring them inside. Cover up your outdoor pipes and spigots. Get that little styrofoam thing, cover it up, your spigots as we head through the next couple of days. Clear out your furnaces and space heaters. Make sure that the space heaters have space. Make sure that everything's kind of cleared out, dust and lint and things like that get caught up in that, and that could catch fire. As far as dripping your indoor and out faucets and opening up at the cabinets, you want to have some airflow going underneath those cabinets, especially if you have poor insulation in your home or apartment. So just a couple of tips to get you into this holiday, this season of cold, but it will be a brief season of cold. Let's say it like that here as we head through the next few days. 60 the high temperature today here across the Mid-South, the Porter Lee Toy Truck Drive. That again happening today here at 1960 Union. Hopefully you can come out and drop off a toy for a child who is in need here this holiday season, to have a joyous holiday season. It will be a beautiful day today. They'll be outside at 1960 Union between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. today. And then on Saturday between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. you can drop off your toys, or you can give us a monetary donation. We have a QR code that you can scan on actionnews5.com. Let's go into your Saturday. Also happening tomorrow on top of the Porter Leith Toy Truck Drive is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl All-Star High School football game. That's happening over at MUS. Great weather for it. You know, a couple of years ago we had severe weather happening right in the core of that game. Not the case here this year. Partly cloudy skies. Cool with temperatures in the 50s to upper 40s. Will ease down by the end of the game into the mid 40s. And that gives you some indication that the coldest of the air will not be here Saturday. It will eventually move in here Saturday night into Sunday. So when you wake up early on Sunday morning, feels like temperatures. These are wind chills that will be in single digits, in some spots closer to 0 up along the Tennessee and Kentucky border to start off early Sunday morning. Most spots, again, anywhere from about 4 or 5 degrees to about 15 to 16 degrees starting off Sunday, and throughout the majority of the day it will be very gusty. Every time you get that little push of cold air into your area, you're going to feel that biting cold kind of cut right through you, and that will even take us into the overnight period of your Sunday into early Monday. By early Monday morning, we're talking actual air temperatures right around 18 degrees here in the city. Outlying areas will be into the mid-teens, only managing highs in the upper 30s. So again, add 10 from Sunday, add 10 to Tuesday, add 10 for Wednesday, and that will get us up to about 58 coming up on Wednesday. Clouds, a couple showers will be mixed in there. A little better chance may sneak in here on Thursday with the front that will come swinging through here Thursday into Friday. They'll knock the numbers back a couple of notches. I will give you a first alert, though, as we head towards the upcoming Christmas holiday week. This is the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. So this is, kind of starting with the end of our 10-day forecast and leading up into Christmas, above average temperatures and likely a high chance of above average temperatures. And typically this time of the year when you have above average temperatures, something's got to give at some point in time. We'll see how that plays out. And when I say give, usually means storms. We'll probably see thunder before we see snow moving through the next 10 days or maybe even 16 days or so as we get closer to the end of the year of 2025 heading to the beginning of 2026. But I want to give you that first alert of the cold moving into the area for the upcoming weekend, start of next week, but it will not be lasting for very long, and soon enough we'll be on a warmer trend, including, it seems like for now, heading into even Christmas week just beyond this 10-day forecast.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We love our dose of positivity with Dr. Talisa Franklin joining us once again on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Talisa, tell me what's going on in your world. Good morning.
My world is filled with so much cheer. It's the holiday seasons. I must admit, I'm like a big kid, Andrew, at this time of year, because I absolutely love this time of the year. It's bringing friends and family. It's just bringing everybody love. It makes me feel good.
I agree with you. It's so enjoyable. You can't help but smile and enjoy things. And it's a little busier, I guess, for a lot of people out there. But that's okay because we are here for it and we're celebrating the reason for the season. So tell me what's going on.
Listen, y'all know this week is such a week of great, positive holiday events. And I want to kick it off with this Thursday. There will be a Red Wing holiday soiree. I'm always grateful to see how Run Red Wing is always bringing the juice, I say, of helping organizations. So this is just not a soiree, but it's a benefit because he actually picks a nonprofit every year and they be a major blessing. And so on this Thursday, listen, you all, if you have not gotten your ticket, it will be the party to be at. Have fun and you're giving back, okay? What better combination is that? It's happening on this Thursday at the Halloran Center at 7 p.m. Grab your tickets, scan the scan code, and let's get out here and let's have a good time and let's network. Let's bring holiday cheer, but more so, let's be a blessing to this year's benefit nonprofit. Every year, he makes a difference with the nonprofits in our community. And so this will be another great year that they're making a difference. So shout out to you, Run, and your entire team, making it a Red Wing holiday soiree where we're going to not only have fun, but have a benefit to give back to the community. So I can't wait to see you all there this Thursday at the Halloran. And if you don't know where the Halloran is, right next door to the Orpheum Theater. So y'all who don't love to go downtown Memphis. And so that's another great reason to enjoy our beautiful city of Memphis. And thank you. I say to all the partners and the sponsors that believe in this vision to make sure this be a blessing for the nonprofit. So this Thursday, be there. And then I want to invite all roads lead to the Christmas parade in Raleigh. Listen, every single year, we're super excited to bring an amazing holiday festivity. So this is none other than this Saturday, y'all, at 12 noon. On Austin P Highway, we will be having the Raleigh Christmas Parade, of course, hosted by yours truly, myself, and we are honoring two grand marshals that's actually doing the work really a whole lot in the Raleigh community, and that is Pastor Leon Jones. He is known for Light at Night, where he's given an avenue for young people to have something to do on Friday night by playing basketball at midnight. It's been a big thing in the community because we're seeing kids and young people not only have fun with basketball, but he had those wraparound services is happening in his church at the Dwelling Place. And then we all love Commissioner Charlie Caswell. He's always on the ground making sure the community has the needs. We're super excited what he do in government, but we're more so honored what he do in his community. And so these two will be our grand marshals, and we're really excited about this. So y'all come out, let's cheer on. We have probably about over 40 groups that's going to be participating in our parade, and y'all know how we do it here. We always have fun, and then you may just see it right here on Saturday. Y'all never know what you may see when you're dealing with us, right? But anyway, know that it's going to be a great time. Christmas parade in Raleigh. Our Grand Marshals, Dr. Charlie Caswell and Pastor Leon Jones, is happening on Austin P Highway. Go to Bluff City Christmas for more information. I cannot wait to see you there. And then on Sunday, y'all, Dr. Tanita Freeman, my dear sister, she is having her Iron and Integrity Gala. Let me tell you what makes this Iron and Integrity Gala so important. She's honoring men right here in the city of Memphis. There are some amazing men in our city, and sometimes the men just don't get what they deserve, right? They don't get all the honor, they don't get all the accolades. And so I was really super excited for the vision of her bringing this together to honor men. And so it is happening on this Sunday at the Palace at Germantown Parkway. It's going to be an amazing event. And I'm super excited to see my little sunshine. She's honoring him. My son, of course, is 19 years young, college student, and a budding entrepreneur, to be along with so many of the greats that's on this picture that will be honored. So let me tell you, Sunday, men, we can't wait to celebrate you. And so kudos to Dr. Tanita Freeman and all the honorees of Iron and Integrity Gala awardees. It's going to be a great time. And so let me tell y'all, all weekend, we can have fun, we can celebrate, and we can give back. What better combination is that? I cannot wait to see y'all at all those events, because y'all know I'm going to be there, right? I'm going to be there having fun, and I hope I get to hug and kiss you for the holidays, all right?
We're going to send you hugs and kisses as well, Talisa. Thank you so much. We appreciate it each and every time you come on the digital desk. Thank you.
Love you.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. There's a recent trend study that came out of Talker Research, and it had all kinds of different things when it came to travel, the latest travel trends, perceptions, ambitions, and generational takes of more than 2,000 customers. On the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I am joined by Van Darden. He is Director of Media Relations for Talker Research. They did the study. Definitely want to do a deep dive on this, Van. So tell me more about the study, and what did you find most interesting? Good morning.
Good morning. This year's report gave us a really interesting snapshot of how Americans are traveling and how travel is tied to so much more than just vacation photos. So we've identified three major takeaways in this large data set. First, by the numbers, Americans travel 2.5 times a year, spending an average of $3,500 annually. And that's not including luxury or international travel. That's just on domestic travel. Our second big finding is that travel might lead to better mental health. So people reported feeling 67% better after taking a trip. And 40% of people with excellent mental health say that travel is a huge part of their lives, versus 12% of people who would have poor mental health say that travel is a part of their lives. And then third, how technology and social media feeds into inspiration sources. So, for example, YouTube came out overall for the #1 place that people go to find travel inspiration. But Gen Z is turning to TikTok to get inspired, and millennials are embracing some of these emerging AI tools like ChatGPT to get inspired on where to travel and even to help plan their travel.
I was going to ask the generational stuff. It's interesting, no question about it, the different generations and where they go for travel ideas and just kind of influence, that sort of thing. What are some of those trips that are on people's wish list, Van?
Yeah, we asked a bucket list for people to rank their bucket list. And the #1 that came out on top, 32% of everybody we talked to said their bucket list dream vacation would be taking a road trip across the USA. So that was #1. There were some others internationally that came out on the top 5: exploring Paris, seeing the Northern Lights in Iceland, seeing the cherry blossoms bloom in Japan, and then coming to New York to visit the Statue of Liberty. All of those are on the top 5. I think what we found from a trend standpoint is that domestic travel really is trending across the top 10 and the top 20, even for dream vacations. People want to see the USA.
Interesting, Van. I was looking at some of the results from that study, and it sounds like mental health played a part in just travel overall, right?
That's right. That's right. So again, feeling better while traveling is really what came out of the data, or rather, maybe feeling better because of traveling is what came out of that data. Again, we talked about 67% feeling mentally better after a trip. But what we got really into, and again, you can go to talkerresearch.com/travel, see the full results of this massive trend report. But that people who feel better mentally travel more. And I think that there's a correlation there that we really started to dig into. That again, 40% of people with excellent mental health say that travel is a huge part of their life. So there's clearly some kind of link between getting out, seeing the world, or even seeing the country that you live in, and just feeling better about life. I think there's something really interesting to be said about that.
No question about it. Not surprising to me. Certainly you feel kind of refreshed when you're getting out of town and just kind of getting out of the rat race that many of us are in. Did you want to mention anything else about some of the different generational things you saw in this study? I know you mentioned YouTube and TikTok, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so social media definitely was a part of it. I think what was interesting is that millennials came out as the most travel hungry of all the generations. They averaged 4.2 international trips in their lifetime. It may not sound like a lot, but 44% of boomers told us that they have never traveled abroad. So big difference there. And again, not just social media for inspiration, but how people interact with social media is quite a bit different generation to generation. 39% of everybody we surveyed said that they feel pressure to post vacation content on their social media, but that number jumps a lot higher the younger that you go. Gen Z and millennials, maybe unsurprisingly, feel this stronger pressure. 55%, 51% respectively feel the pressure to post social media content when they're traveling. Boomers, on the other hand, just 15% say that they feel pressured to pull out their phones and post while traveling. Then, of course, there's that do it for the gram mindset we've heard of. 1 in 3 people, and that's according to every generation, including boomers, say that they have done things while traveling just to take a picture to post it on social media. Got to do it for the gram.
I'm sorry, that's terrible. I'm just kidding. Hey, look, it's research, right? It's what you found in research. Van, thank you so much. Interesting trends. Tell our audience one more time where people can see the full study, because you guys interviewed like 2,000 people, right?
That's right, and there's so much more data and so many more trends that we uncovered that we didn't have time to talk about today. Talkerresearch.com/travel. Talkerresearch.com/travel.
All right, Van Darden, Talker Research Media Director. Appreciate you coming on the digital desk and telling us about all the interesting results that came out of that study. We appreciate it. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. My next guest is a prolific actor whose career spans more than 30 years. You've seen him in all kinds of movies, iconic films like Dead Poets Society, Reality Bites, Training Day, and Boyhood. And his latest project, he is behind the camera and in front of the camera as an executive producer. He stars in this program, this new series. It's called Lowdown. It's on FX right now, and I have the pleasure of welcoming Ethan Hawke to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Ethan, it's great to meet you. You've been a part of several iconic movies and projects. Tell me what Lowdown, how that came about, and why it is so appealing to you. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Thanks for having me on your show. Yeah, the Lowdown started. I was a big fan of Reservation Dogs, a show by Sterling Harjo. It was set in Tulsa. I did a cameo in that show, and I kind of fell in love with that whole community and Sterling and the way he works. And he had this idea of let's make a noir in Tulsa about a truth historian, a Tulsa true historian, a kind of citizen journalist, ne'er-do-well loser who owns a bookshop who can't help but try to tell the truth and change the world, and gets beaten up while he does so. So I don't know. I just fell in love with the whole project, and we're gearing up to release the 8th episode, and I'm excited for people to see it.
Hey, that sounds awesome. I've seen a little bit of it, Ethan, and I certainly relate to it, being a journalist and being that truth seeker. He certainly is one as well, but he's very humorous, and there's some things that are very relatable. Who else would you find maybe could relate to this person? Who's giving you the most feedback in this series, Ethan?
Wow, it's funny. It's as embarrassing as this to say. I think my mother always gives me the most feedback. She's always everything I do. She has got an opinion. This is lousy. This one's good. This one, but she's fallen in love with Lee, and so that makes me feel like I must have done something all right.
Fantastic. Well, tell me where people can see this, how they can watch it, what time, that sort of thing.
All right, so it's shows on FX where you can stream it on Hulu. It's called The Lowdown. It stars Kyle MacLachlan, me, Peter Dinklage, Gene Triplehorn, Tim Blake Nelson, Keith David, a lot of great people. It's a comedy about truth in America.
I love it. I love it. And I got to ask you about a couple other movies, specific ones, personal favorites of mine. Let me talk about Dead Poets Society for a minute. Based on a true story, you starred there with the late, great Robin Williams. Did you ever think, filming this, that it would reach this iconic status?
I cannot imagine that I would have ever thought in 1989, when we were shooting this, that in 2025 I'd be on television being asked questions about it. And I walk around on the street and I'll meet young people that have Carpe Diem tattooed on their arm, and it's an incredible experience to make something that really penetrates not just its audience and its time, but keeps speaking to people. When you're 19, you don't, I guess I was 18, you have no idea what things are going to mean anything. Everything that I was experiencing back then was so new. I guess I thought that's what making a movie was like. I didn't know what a special experience it was.
Yeah. I mean, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," I still quote that. And of course, I showed my kids that movie too when they were little. Another movie I want to ask you about, Reality Bites. It defined a generation. A lot of people think it defined Generation X. Just curious, you ever thought, when you're filming this with Winona Ryder, Ben Stiller, that it would define a generation? That's a big deal.
Yeah, I remember we were at the wrap party and somebody at the table was saying, "I think this movie is going to be a defining movie, what The Graduate was to its time." And I literally thought they were nuts. I thought you such an overblown ego, this person working on the thing. But turns out, a couple of years ago, we had the 25th anniversary, and I watched the movie with a sold out house, and I felt so proud of it. And they were right.
Yeah, no question about it. You should feel proud of it. Finally, I got to ask, we're in Memphis here, North Mississippi. West Tennessee, Eastern Arkansas. You ever been to this area, Memphis or Tennessee?
Are you kidding me? Memphis, Tennessee. I mean, that is one of my favorite places. When my oldest daughter was 13, we've had one of the most memorable trips of my life. I took her to Graceland, and we went to Graceland, and we went to a couple Civil War battlefields. We went to the Lorraine Hotel. We went to Sun Studios. I've been to Memphis for some reason a bunch in my life, and I've never not had a great time. So a big shout out and hello to all the good people in Memphis.
Next time, please come by 1960 Union Avenue. That's where we are, Action News 5. Ethan Hawke, great to chat with you. Really appreciate it. Congratulations on Lowdown, and congratulations on such a successful career. Thanks for taking the time for us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You got it. All right. Awesome. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We always love checking in at the Memphis Botanic Garden. There's so many great things happening right now, especially with Holiday Wonders, the holiday season, holiday coming up, and now Gift of Greens. I'm joined on the Action News 5 Digital Desk by Mary Helen Butler to talk more about the festivities, including Gift of Green. Good morning, Mary Helen. How are you?
Yeah, good morning. Well, you know, today is Giving Tuesday. So what better day to think about crossing off names on your gift list while at the same time supporting a local nonprofit. So you're giving to your friends and loved ones, but you're also giving to the community when you support someone like the Botanic Garden.
So tell me about Gift of Greens. What exactly is it and how people can get involved?
Yeah, well, you know, we have a great gift shop year round. Karen, our manager, gets really unique things that you don't see everywhere else. But for the holidays, she's expanded. This whole hallway behind me in our visitor center is filled with unique, whimsical gifts. Things like this great Christmas tree garland that I'm wearing now. We've got some really cool handmade Christmas trees. If you need to stop for a hostess gift, check out this little wine bottle topper. It's a mushroom, and it can also be a Christmas ornament. So nice nature themed things. We also have plant gifts. You know, you can come by and pick up your potted house plant, but then choose a creative container or pot for it to go in, and you've got a ready-made gift. So it's really easy if you're just stopping by. We're located right in the geographic center of the city, so it's easy to run in, grab a gift on the go if you need something quick.
I love the 96 acres of beauty there on right in the city. As you mentioned, one of the prettiest places in all of Memphis, the Memphis Botanic Garden. So with Holiday Wonders, I'm sure crowds have been coming by, checking things out. And that's essentially what Gift of Greens is, right? To check things out there?
Well, yeah, I mean, the Gifts of Green is our holiday shop. But yes, the other way you can support the garden is by coming to Holiday Wonders, which started last Friday night, and it'll run select dates through the holiday season. So viewers can check our website for the nights we're open and special theme nights and how to get tickets. But they also will have a membership table, a place where you can purchase gift memberships, which that's another way to support Memphis Botanic Garden, is to give the gift of a garden. If you have a family that you can't think of what else to get them, a family membership can be purchased for $125. And if they have young children, that's, a year worth of play dates in my big backyard. Or an individual membership can be purchased for $75. So if you have a friend who likes to travel, garden membership gets you in gardens across the country for free. If you have a person who likes to exercise, this is a great gift to give to them, where they can come and walk and be surrounded by beauty as they do their daily walk. So lots of ways to support the garden. It's so easy too. You just log on to our website, and there's a form where you can put in the information, and your recipient will be sent a gift certificate, or you can even have it sent to you so that you can wrap it up yourselves to give them in person. These can also be purchased here at our visitor center at the desk. But what's great about these is it doesn't start when you purchase the membership. Your year doesn't start then. It starts when your person redeems it. So if they are kind of busy over the holidays and in January, and they don't come in until February to redeem it, then they have a year from that. So great gift idea here.
I love it. All right, Mary Helen Butler with Memphis Botanic Garden joining us on the Action News 5 digital desk. Thank you so much for letting us know about all the great ways we can support Memphis Botanic Garden. We appreciate your time. Happy holidays.
Thanks. Same to you.
Back to the Action News 5 digital desk. I want to tell you about a new procedure that St. Francis Hospital is doing. It's called an endoscopic sinus procedure. And here in Memphis in the Mid-South, allergies are a big deal. Sinuses, certainly people suffer from. And so this procedure really helps people that are dealing with major sinus and allergy problems. Let's bring in one of the doctors that performs this procedure, Dr. Grant Muller. He's an ENT oncology surgeon at St. Francis Bartlett. And Grant, I understand that this procedure is not a surgery. This is a minimally invasive procedure from what I understand. Tell me more about it, and I appreciate you joining on the digital desk. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Andrew. So this is a surgery that's primarily offered at St. Francis Bartlett. I am a head and neck cancer surgeon that's employed through the West Cancer Center, but and operating out of St. Francis Bartlett. And so this is a surgery, and like you said, it is minimally invasive. Everything is done through the nose. There's no cuts on the outside of the face or anything. And I use very high-powered, high-magnification endoscopes to go through and open up the sinuses to treat sinus disease. But while we've been doing sinus surgery for many years, the thing that we're offering now is something called sinus navigation that I use in the operating room. And so what happens is I'm able to get a very high resolution CAT scan of the sinuses. And that helps tell me exactly the sinuses that I need to operate on to open them to help treat a number of things like chronic sinus disease, growths in the sinuses, or any issues with the skull base. And so when I'm in the operating room, I actually put the CAT scan right next to the screen that my cameras are looking at. And in real time, my instruments are tracking across the CAT scan to show me exactly where I am. And in doing so, I'm able to improve my visualization. I'm able to see behind areas of bone or tissue that I wouldn't normally be able to see behind with my camera. It keeps me safe. It keeps me away from the really critical structures that are in the area, such as the eye, such as the base of the skull where the brain is, the carotid artery, the main artery that supplies the brain, and helps me ensure that I'm clearing out all the areas of the disease effectively, really to give the patients the best outcome afterwards.
My understanding, Grant, is that you kind of use GPS technology for this. Tell me a little bit about that, and what kind of patient is the kind of patient that would be suitable for this type of procedure?
Yeah, absolutely. GPS is a great analogy because like you're driving down to the beach or something, you're watching your little blue dot go on the map and track yourself. My instruments are being tracked along the CT scan, so I know exactly where I am at all times. The sinus registers within a millimeter of where I am, so there's very little room for discrepancy. So it really does keep you safe, and the data and the literature really supports that. As far as the patient that is perfect for the surgery, overall, the main type of people are patients that have chronic sinus disease, which, as you kind of alluded to, is a real issue down here in the Mid-South with all of the pollen and allergies that we experience. And ideally, it's a patient that has tried what we call adequate medical therapy, things like topical nasal steroids such as Flonase, or sinus rinses such as a Neti-Pot or Navage, and they're still just having symptoms despite all these different medications. And so then we go in and these patients become surgical candidates, and we open up those sinuses to really widen what's called their natural drainage pathways to help them drain the kind of purulent, the pus and mucus that gets trapped in the sinuses, and also provides a way for us to really deliver those medications more directly to the sinuses to really get them a relief.
Does insurance pay for something like this? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So insurances do cover this. This is something where if insurance will cover it if you've tried medical therapy. Generally, a medical therapy is a trial of about 3 to 4 weeks. And if you are still having symptoms after about 3 to 4 weeks, then you would be a good candidate for a sinus surgery. It's really an incentive for insurances to pay for this, because chronic sinus disease is such a burden on the healthcare system. There's about $60 billion annually spent on chronic sinus disease.
Wow.
And so it really does fill up our urgent cares, our emergency rooms, and patients that actually do have surgery sooner have less healthcare utilization. They're having less prescriptions. They're having less procedures overall. So it is actually within their financial interest as well to cover this.
So if someone's interested in this, because it sounds interesting, it sounds new, cutting edge, groundbreaking, Grant, how do people find out more about this?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm employed primarily through the West Cancer Center. Much of my interest is in head and neck cancer surgery and reconstructive surgery, but I am an ear, nose, and throat doctor by training. And so I do general ear, nose, and throat surgery as well. So if a patient is interested and wants to see me for a consultation, I am at the Wolf River campus for West Cancer Center twice a week, and I'm happy to see patients here that can be scheduled through our website or by contacting the West Cancer Center.
Okay, and if someone wants to know about this specific thing, can they go to St. Francis Bartlett or St. Francis's website? I mean, is there stuff online?
Not that I'm aware of. So right now, this is something that we're still getting off the board. That is certainly something that we're working towards, is getting that information readily available to patients. There's, of course, an abundance of information available online as long as you're looking at the correct sources. But I'm also happy to talk to patients extensively about kind of the advantages of this type of surgery.
Okay, great. Well, listen, Dr. Grant Muller, we really appreciate your time on the digital desk and this information about this new endoscopic sinus procedure. It sounds like it could give relief to so many Mid-Southerners out there. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andrew. Have a good day.
All right, that does it for us here in the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Have yourself a wonderful afternoon. We got Action News 5 midday at the top of the hour with Ariana Poindexter, Jerry Askin. They'll take you through the next hour with all your headlines and your forecast. Going to be a nice day today, but a big chill tonight. So you can check out next 7 to 10 days of your forecast. And then join me bright and early Monday morning, another edition of the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We go from 7 until 11. Each and every weekday morning, the Digital Desk does. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful weekend.